Ingles studio. It is almost here. We've only just begun to count down the days to the 2024 NFL Draft.
And we'll be there live. We're not sure where we're staying. We're not sure what airline we're flying on.
That's...
Tank and I were looking at places in Detroit, and I swear to you, I saw no less than 8 of them that I would be doing this show by myself.
Yes.
Because Tank would be immediately either trafficked or I don't know exactly what would happen to him, but it wouldn't be good, and I could not preclude it.
No, it would not be great. And look, Detroit's one of those cities that, maybe kid from Asheville, North Carolina shouldn't just be, staying in any old neighborhood.
Well,
so we're on the hunt.
If you're the kid from Asheville, North Carolina.
We're talking,
bro.
Talking to my buddy Jimmy V, who's from Detroit. I used to work with him years ago down in Charleston, and he's a Detroit native, so he's giving us the tips on where we need to stay. Various levels of suburbs, I was told.
Yes, we will be out in the burbs, probably in an Airbnb.
But that is next week's trip. We're building up to the 2024 NFL Draft with all of our Draftmas season coverage. On today's docket in the 1 o'clock hour, we will be doing a head-to-head mock draft. It's mock draft day.
Gonna be a mock draft. Woo! This time Tank gets to pick for half the teams. We'll talk some trades. We'll do some stuff. I'm so excited. But the Monday before is when my dance card gets really filled. Mm-hmm. And when it really becomes like Draftmas season to me. I start singing Draftmas carols. Grandma got run over by Mel Kiper.
Nice.
It's a great one.
It's a classic. It is an absolute classic. We have Jeremy's top 13 corners to get into today. And all of your draft questions. Always.
I do have to start this. Yes, all the draft questions you could possibly ask. We already got our first one from William Workman, who said he saw the Panthers get Jackson Powers Johnson at 33 in a mock. Is he falling down boards or are they crazy? Well, that depends on who you listen to. Because, yes, I am seeing him in the second round more often now. And, yes, I think that is absolutely insane.
No way that JPJ falls down that far. My opinion. He will be gone well before then. That's another one of those. Is it him I said that about, or was it Barton? I think it's him or Barton. If either of them are on the board at 26, I can guarantee you they're not getting past the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So if that's where your eye is at, maybe you need to try to trade up. Or start convincing yourself that the number 3 in that class is just fine. Which is who? Like
Zach Frazier.
Kenny, oh, yeah. I was going to say Kenny Frazier. I'm not sure who he is.
I don't either. But if you draft him in the second round, I'm going to make more fun of you than if you drafted Zach Frazier.
Just go get Kenny Frazier, and the Carolina Panthers will be set to win championships from here to the end of time.
Kenny, old man Frazier's boy.
Yeah.
He's a big fella.
Yeah.
I do have to ask you a question that's not football related, and then we can get away from it.
Okay.
How many minutes of NBA did you watch this weekend?
0.
Okay. Our answer is the same there. How many minutes of UFC did you watch?
Mucho.
Our answer is the same there. Alex Pereira, I hope you listened to me because that was free money. How many minutes of the Masters did you watch?
A whole bunch. I watched.
And there's where we differ.
I watched most of the final round. Turned it off when Scotty got so far ahead it wasn't competitive anymore. But I was there. I was the rare. It was the rare year for me to sit down immediately as they were opening from Butler Kaplan, and I watched all the way until 4 holes left.
I didn't see one hole. I saw 4 shots and went, don't care. And that was on Saturday.
Really?
Don't care.
Just because
Scotty Scheffler is, I was going to say something really mean there, but it's Monday and I'm in a good mood because it's draft season. Scotty Scheffler is the tapioca pudding of the sporting world, and I cannot get myself emotionally invested when I know he's going to win, and I did after about 6 holes on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I was keeping up with it on my phone, and I never got to the point where I went, I need to turn this on. Because I just didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
I threw a wager on Scotty Scheffler when I realized I was wrong. That was midday Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Never looked at it again.
Yep. It was only a 3-shot difference between the guys in the top 5 going into yesterday's final round, and you couldn't bring yourself to care.
Never at any point felt like anybody. But the only thing that could have precluded Scotty Scheffler from winning is if his wife went into labor. And then we would have put the rubber to the road of, all right, bro, this was fun. You saying, oh, I'm going to lead no matter what. Okay. Are you sure? Because I'm not so sure.
Mm-hmm. Second green jacket in 3 years. The second time he's won it, he's only started 5 times at Augusta National.
And he'll probably win another one because we do this a lot. Oh, it's the next Tiger Woods. You sure? So was Jordan Spieth, who went snowman and then went home.
Yeah, he didn't do you any favors.
No, that wasn't great.
No.
He is the Jeremy Greene of golf. He will do some things that just blow your mind, and then he will do some other things that just blow your mind. Some good, some bad.
I think my worst call of the week was Brooks Koepka, and he was in it for a minute.
The highlight of his weekend was looking at the reporter that asked him if a 59 was possible at Augusta, and he responded with, "You ever play here?" "No." "I could tell by your question."
Because you wouldn't dare ask that question.
Awesome.
That is hilarious. Scotty Scheffler winning the Masters. Congratulations to him. UFC. The ending of the Max Holloway Justin Gaethje fight was probably the greatest thing I've ever seen in an octagon.
You got to be a BMF.
Yes.
As Max Holloway is, and he now has the title to prove it. To look at somebody in a fight that the only way you're going to lose is if you die in the next 20 seconds and go, middle of the ring, I give you a shot, let's go.
I mean, just
haymakers. Let's just throw heaters at each other for 20 seconds.
Just pointing to the monster can in the middle of the ring and going, you stand there, I stand here. We got 20 seconds to finish this thing, and we're going to give them a finish.
We'll play UFC Rochambeau. How's that sound?
And I mean, he hooked him good.
Oh,
and it was just night, lights out for Justin Gaethje.
He had the greatest 2 nights of sleep in the history of sleep.
Ruined every parlay I had.
Yeah, you said that in our group chat, and I went, I don't believe you're doing that correctly.
Gaethje had all the momentum going into the fight. Holloway's been up and down, I thought, for sure. And then, like 5 seconds into it, my wife looks at me and she goes, does Justin Gaethje look like he's gained a little weight? And I went, he does look a little pudgy around the middle. There goes that bet.
Did you see how much weight Alex Pereira gained before the fight?
No.
Weighed in at 205 on Friday. Weighed in at 232 Saturday morning. I don't know how good you are at math. He gained 27 pounds in a day.
That's insane.
I don't even know how you would do that.
That's a lot of buffet at the casino, I guess.
Hell, I've gained like 60 pounds in a year, and I'm dying.
Just trying to figure out how
Heart hurts.
Yeah, I watched all of the UFC on Saturday night. It was fantastic. Well, I mean, all of the UFC after the Los Straitjackets concert, which did you see my clip that I sent you? They played your Batman song.
I did not. I'll have to look at that in the break.
Yeah.
You know what I looked at this weekend other than UFC? Draft tape. Because
it's Draftmas season here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Top 13 corners for the draft. We'll be going through the final top 13s of every position for Flostradamus as we count down the days to Draftmas Day.
I am going to need you for this first one to get that song that, the song that I love oh so much. It's in the back of all ASPCA commercials. Because, I mean, this is the last time. Queen Mitchell, it's the last time I get to wax poetic about how good you are. And I'm going to miss it. It's been so good. So good. And now we're going to be there in Detroit. It's like watching a baby bird fly out of the nest. I just don't even know what to do. I almost actually made myself cry.
That's pretty good. Quinion Mitchell, the number one corner for Flostradamus.
It's not even close. It's not even close. The difference between 1 and 2 got worse over the course of the offseason. I saw him at the Senior Bowl, and he was I think he was my 2 going into that. He was right behind Terry and Arnold. Mm-hmm. It took one practice for me to go, did that wrong. That dude right there is the best player on this field, and it's not really all that close.
What is he so special at?
He is as good of a cover guy as I have ever seen. I mean, he's Sauce Gardner level good. He's not as tall as Sauce. 6 foot, 195. I think he can play off. I think he can play man. I mean, the biggest knock on him is he's not the best tackler I've ever seen. He's probably the second best tackler in this class. And that should tell you all you need to know. If he gets past the Raiders, I need somebody to explain to me why. This was the first question I asked Trevor Sickman when I saw him at the Combine. How high is too high on Quinion Mitchell, and why is it 8? Mm-hmm. I don't think he can go any higher than that, but if Atlanta gets stuck at 8, I'm not going to be shocked if they go, let's do that.
I don't feel like that's too high.
I don't either. Trevor Sickman didn't either.
The number one corner in the board, or on the board, how high is too high? I mean, top 5, okay, you got to be super special to be in that discussion.
Yeah, and that doesn't tend to go particularly well.
But once you get into top 10 territory, the value can be there.
He was a Bruce Feldman freak, and it shows a lot. And he's one of those that it doesn't really matter what scheme you play. Oh, we play a ton of zone. Awesome, he can do that too. Might be the best thing he does. Then you see him in man, and okay, you can do that too. I love the fit with him with the Raiders. The Colts would be overjoyed, I think, if he fell to 15. I have heard some rumors over the course of the last, 3 or 4 days that the Colts are really in play to move up, and the team to watch them with is the New York Jets. So you put that in your hat, and you just do with that what you will. Everybody thinks they would be moving up for Brock Bowers. I'm not so sure of that.
It may be Quinion Mitchell.
I think it might be.
Is he a no doubt number one longtime starter in your eyes?
Yes.
Then why would you not? Why would you not do everything you can to get up and get that guy if you're not in the market for the top 5 recruits in this class or prospects?
I don't know that you have to. That would be the argument. And I really don't want to lose day 2 capital. I mean, look, those day 2 picks in this class are going to be like gold. So, I mean, I know the Jets are listening. I know the phone is open. You can make that call because they feel like they can get Brock Bowers at 15. Mm-hmm. They feel like as long as they stay ahead of the Cincinnati Bengals, they can get their guy. And even if somebody were to take him, that's fine. There's 3 offensive linemen that we're fine with. And I did hear my first rumor of the Jets taking Troy Fautano, and I died a little on the inside. Like, oh, no.
You've talked smack about it long enough.
Don't do it. I've said, why would anybody take him at 16? I really don't understand why anybody taking him at 10.
You better stop talking now, or they're going to make that dream come true for you. Quinion Mitchell, number one corner on the board, could be taken earlier than you think in the first round of the NFL draft.
If I had to say I had a knock on him, it would be the competition that he played. And he did not see high-level wide receivers very often. And then he went to the Combine and or the Senior Bowl, and just absolutely dominated. I mean, he made guys look foolish in practices. Mm-hmm. So I just don't care. He's my one. It's no doubt he's in my top 10. I will be putting out my top 100 players. That'll be the Tuesday before the draft, because we'll be in a whirly-bird flying away.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, number one corner in the 2023 NFL draft class, as per Flostradamus. Jeremy Greene, Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. We'll continue with the top 13 right after this.
The Focus of Creating a Con, a true crime anthology podcast. Season 1 spotlights Ray Trapani and his tech startup scam, endorsed by DJ Khaled and Floyd Mayweather, and built on empty promises and millions from bilked investors.
If someone's like, oh, what's your best way of making money? I don't think start a business. I'm like, oh, we should start some sort of scheme, and I can't help it.
Listen to Creating a Con on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Creating a Con.
The future of medicine is here at QC Kinetics. QC is the nation's leader in the most exciting revolution in pain management we've seen in decades, regenerative medicine. If you are tired of achy joints, if your joint pain is keeping you from doing what you love, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Surgery, steroids, drugs, these are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics using your body's own power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkupp. Dr. Scheinkupp is a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, and publishing. He wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. Call QC Kinetics now to learn more about some exciting options. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Phone 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville.
Hear that? The sound of water being poured on 800-degree rocks. If you were here in this sauna, you'd be so hot you wouldn't have the energy to move. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. Besides, after a long ride, a helmet sweat is way more satisfying. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without even breaking a sweat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
First News on 570.
The U.S. Olympic women's track and field team. New outfits, rather skimpy. One athlete says, quote, my hoo-ha is going to be out. And it has been pointed out that the first Olympics were contested and people were naked. Javelin seems like one that might be dangerous.
I'd be more worried about the hurdles.
Ow.
Not a lot of clearance there.
Weekday mornings at 6 on News Radio 570 WWNC.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
At Ingalls, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Not only does it ensure that you get top-quality, fresh items for your family table, it's a way for us to support the amazing individuals who pour their heart and soul into delivering the very best they can do. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, marking Draftmas season with the final top 13s from at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Greene. Top 13 corners starts with Quinion Mitchell by a mile, the corner out of Toledo. The number 2 in your class, Jeremy.
Quinion Mitchell.
Well, okay. How many Quinion Mitchells before we get to Terrion Arnold?
3.
3. 3. Is Terrion Arnold your 2?
Yes.
Okay. Terrion Arnold, Alabama's number 2.
I was completely prepared to do that another time if you would asked me, okay, who's your number 3?
I had a feeling that's why I cut you off.
That's a man that's done this with me for too long, and he knows my shenanigans.
What is it about Terrion Arnold that makes him so sought after in this draft?
Well, he is better at the point of the tackle than Quinion Mitchell. The problem that I have with Terrion Arnold is the same problem I've had with every Alabama defensive player for the last 20 years. What am I supposed to get out of you that Nick Saban didn't get out of you? If Terrion Arnold doesn't get any better, and look, right now I think if you were just looking prospect to prospect, him and Quinion Mitchell are close right now. I don't think there's any growth left. I don't. I think that's what you've got. You've got two guys that have very similar body makeups, There's no doubt to me in terms of scheme flexibility, Quinion Mitchell is better than Terrion Arnold. If you're just telling me you're going to lather up in a man press scheme, okay. You like Terrion Arnold better? You're going to play nothing but man coverage? Okay. I get it. I don't agree with you, but I understand how you got there. If you're planning on dropping him in zone ever, you're doing it wrong. Because you're taking a guy as a man cover corner. Terrion Arnold belongs in the top 15. If you start dropping him off into zone, he becomes way closer to a back end of the first, beginning of the second round pick. Because he's just okay. He's just okay. That's the reason I see so many of these zone-heavy teams. Your Buccaneers out. Mm-hmm. Don't care if he falls to you. You're doing it wrong if you take him. You need a corner. You don't need this corner.
Yep.
And there are a few guys coming that would fit that better than he does. I do like the fit with him with I just can't get away from the Eagles. I don't know how you would do it. I think it would involve a trade up, but I do love the idea of him playing in that Vic Fangio defense.
Mm-hmm.
It's not their biggest need, arguably. Depends on how much you think the scheme last year is what made Big Play Slay so brutal. And James Bradbury not even worth being in the league.
Yep. Big year for Terrion Arnold. Intercepted 5 passes in his final season at Alabama. Number 3.
This is where it gets markedly tighter to me. I have Cooper DeJean at 3 because I'm not as in love with the next name that I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about zone cover schemes. Cooper DeJean's the guy you want. Because he's the blend of I can tackle the same way Terrion Arnold can. I can play zone as well, if not better, than Quinion Mitchell. But I'm way better in zone than Terrion Arnold is.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I look at a team like Indianapolis, they should have DeJean higher than Terrion Arnold. If they don't, you're doing it wrong. And then you add in the fact that he's probably the most dynamic kick returner in this class.
And that is, I know that's not necessarily a huge thing for teams.
It's a thing.
But with the redesigning of the rules and the penalties, basically, for kicking into the end zone and all of that, I mean, why do you think Pittsburgh went out and got Cordero Patterson immediately?
Cooper DeJean as a punt returner is really dynamic and can change a lot of things if you're willing to put him back there. There are teams that I can tell you, I talked to 2 of them at the Combine that said, this kid's already coming off an injury. We're going to invest high-level capital into him. If we take him, there is no shot we're putting him back there to field kicks. So we're not even acknowledging that.
Okay.
Do I think every team feels that way? No, I don't. No, because he's just too good.
Mm-hmm.
He's too good with the ball in his hands for that not to play a role.
And he seems, too valuable as a corner. Do you really want your future number 1 corner out there returning kicks? I get the concern, but if he's going to be anywhere close to what he was at Iowa.
Now, I don't know that he's a 1. I think he's a high-end 2. To me, there's only 2 number 1 corners. I love the idea of Cooper DeJean with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he's on the opposite side of Joey Porter Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
and I have 2 low 1s or 2 high 2s. It just depends on how you look at them. I'm fine with that. If I'm not going to have a Jalen Ramsey or one of these true shutdown guys, and I'm going to play a scheme like that, that's fine. I think they're equal. I would have DeJean a little higher, but it's not crazy after what I saw last year.
All right, Cooper DeJean out of Iowa at number 3. Number 4.
It's begrudgingly Nate Wiggins.
You don't think he's good enough to be a top 4 in any class other than this one, maybe?
Oh.
Is that the thought here? Begrudgingly putting him at 4?
He's so little. And everybody lost their mind because he ran so fast. I mean, he ran a 4.28. I get that. That's all well and good. And in a straight line, I like it. Here's the problem. He's 173 pounds. And so I look at a guy like Nate Wiggins and go, how are you going to deal with A.J. Brown? All right, you get into a situation. I invest a top 20 pick in you, and I line you up across from A.J. Brown. who I have stood next to, and I can tell you he's every bit as thick as I am. 170 pounds next to me looks like a little child. Looks the same way against A.J. Brown. Looks the same way against DK Metcalf. Looks the same way against a lot of high-end physical receivers, and I think they're going to chew you up and spit you out. To me, he's a slot corner. He's a good one. And you get him with shifty little Tyreek Hill-type players, okay. What are you supposed to do against somebody that can outman you? He's one of the smallest corners to ever weigh in at the combine. But everybody – this is why I hate the 40. I have for years said, I wish you would stop putting those numbers out until a month after we do the combine. Watch the drills, see what you actually see, and stop worrying about how straight line fast these guys are. I watch tape on Nate Wiggins, and I see a second-round pick. The problem is I don't have another corner that I even see that high. So he's 4 by default.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it this way. The difference between Nate Wiggins and Cooper DeJean is greater than the difference I have between Quinyon Mitchell and Terrion Arnold. That's how big the drop-off is to 4.
Okay.
There is not a huge drop-off to 5. There is a drop-off, but it's not as significant. I just think you're so typecast at that size. And if I bulk you up, I don't know that it's going to fix anything. I don't know if at 195 pounds he's not going to get pushed around. Every time I saw him against a high-level physical receiver, he got annihilated. Now, they hit him a little bit, and teams didn't necessarily have to throw at him that often. But it wasn't because they were scared of him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that that will fix things, and it's going to slow you down, which is the number one thing he has.
Yes.
Is that he can, in a foot race, stick with anybody. And he is reasonably sticky in coverage.
Number 5.
This is probably the hardest spot. And it finally just came down to, I stared at this spot for way longer than I wanted to. It's TJ Tampa. Look, the PFF grade to me is a little misleading because it makes it sound like he's Deion Sanders, and he's not.
What is his PFF grade?
It's one of the highest ones I've ever seen. He had I want to say it was like a 90 over his last year at Iowa State.
Okay.
And it is misleading because he did not get thrown at as often as you would expect a number one corner to get thrown at because there was a sieve on the other side. I'm not saying he's not good. He is good, and he's really good in man. He's really good in press. He's got some lazy feet because he's hyper athletic. But sometimes his technique lacks, and I'm afraid at the next level that if you put him in a scheme that he doesn't fit into, you kept telling me how much you like him with Tampa Bay, and yes. I get that to a point.
Mm-hmm.
I just think you're taking away what it is that he does best, which is get up into a guy's body and then bail out. Tampa doesn't do that very often. Todd Bowles plays way off receivers.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really where I want him.
It's some of the best tape that I saw of him was his run ability, his ability to tackle and read runs and do. I look at that and I go, Todd Bowles can do great things with a guy like that, and I think that's what they're in love with. I said to you before the show, I would almost want him to gain 20 pounds and become a linebacker because he's so good, sideline to sideline pursuit, in pursuit, and all of that.
Okay, all right. So I swear to God, I'm not trying to call you out here.
No,
this is how this is going to sound, but it's not not how I mean it.
Yeah.
Where did you see that tape? When you watched that tape?
It was just a highlight tape.
And that's why you don't watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. If you take the high inside, and he is a willing tackler.
Yes.
The problem is exactly what I just said about his technique. Because there were times that he gave up gigantic runs at Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
Because he sees a guy going to the boundary, and people figured him out. He's going to try to push me into the boundary. He will lapse. He will not wrap me up. And I'm just going to skirt right by him. I saw it 3 separate times. He's not nearly as good a tackler as you think he is.
Okay.
You watch the highest, and I promise you that was not me trying to
We all highlight watch, brother. That's why you're here to tell us where we go wrong highlight watching.
I knew that there would be a player that you would do that with where I could say that, of be really careful watching highlight tapes. Not because they're not informative, they are. But you don't see the bad in a highlight tape. Especially if you go to YouTube and just type in a guy's name.
No doubt.
You'll see the best things they ever did. You don't see the drawback. What you just did, and this worked out so much better than I anticipated it working out. What you just did is what I think people do with TJ Tampa. They see the high side, and they go, God, he's so good, and I'm catching a value at the back end of the first round, beginning of the second round. The problem is that you didn't see all those lapses, that they're not making it to a highlight tape. You're going to have to dig to find that because he don't want you to find it.
But the highlights look so good, and PFF tells me he's real good.
And he is good. Don't get me wrong. He is good. It's the mental lapses that really bother me because his cliff plays were off a cliff. I mean, we're talking Wile E. Coyote bad. And almost all of them were just lazy. And that bothers me. You're lazy at Iowa State trying to get noticed at a school that's not great and does not have a great track record of putting out corners. This is not like you're playing at Penn State or Ohio State or one of these schools that just puts out 20 corners a decade, so we're looking for you. No, you got to go make a statement. And then you do these little tiny things that nobody sees because it didn't always kill you. Sometimes you miss the tackle, it turns into a 12-yard game, but it was a first down. It was a first down in the purgatory between the 30s. That happens. First down gets converted, then they go down and score a touchdown. All three of the plays that soured me on him, they all three led to touchdowns. That bothers me. That bothers me, and it bothers me a lot. I think he is a legit second-round pick. If somebody takes him in the first round, I think you did it wrong. Straight up.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Muhammad Abdi asked me a question in the YouTube chat, and it does kind of go to something that needs to be mentioned with corners. Everybody does have their own flavor. What he asked me is, would I rather have a big, slower corner like Cam Hart or the hyper-athletic, super-fast Nate Wiggins? I will take Cam Hart 100 times out of 100. Because I can play off the speedy corner or play off the speedy receiver, excuse me. You go up against DK Metcalf and you don't have somebody that can get into his body, you're done before the game even starts. Dallas Cowboys. Go back and watch that tape. I'm not telling you Trayvon Diggs is not a good corner. I'm not telling you, and Diggs didn't play in that game. That was after he got hurt. Deron Bland. I'm not telling you he's not a good corner. I'm telling you he was completely ill-equipped to deal with DK Metcalf, and they just peppered him with targets. To the point of now I'm having to bring a safety over. I'm having to completely shade the defense. Okay, I'll just eat you over here. It's fine. You react to him because in terms of the way you draft, you don't have somebody to deal with this. I'll just go kill you over here. You can stop this. That's fine. You've completely manipulated your defense into something you don't usually do, and now I'm going to eat you over here. I like having speedy corners. The difference between a 4'3" guy like Nate Wiggins and a 4'5" guy like Cam Hart, and I think he was 4'5". I think he was somewhere in that territory. He's so big that I can get the press on you. I can slow you down to where you're not going to get to top speed, so I'm not overly worried about you running by me. Nate Wiggins, you better be real quick to accelerate because you're not going to get a paw on anybody because they're not scared of you. I'll go right into your body and just shred you off. So, yes, I'm one of those guys. I got that Seattle Seahawk type. That's what I'm looking for. I want a big physical corner. Sometimes they're not all that tall. Devin Witherspoon, he wasn't super tall. He was super aggressive. That's why he was my number one corner last year.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pretty easy one as we roll into a Monday afternoon. I hope everybody gets a chance to get outside, enjoy the beautiful weather. I mean, I understand with the allergies and the pollen and all that, and hopefully we'll get something to clean us out here, but really don't see much rain in the forecast. Sunny today, 80. Tonight, 55. Some clouds around. Tuesday morning, there could be some fog, then partial sun in the afternoon, 80. Wednesday, maybe a shower, thunderstorm, high 75. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by
Bojangles. It's always bow time.
It's bow time.
The only thing you want after a made-from-scratch Bojangles biscuit with juicy country ham is another one. For a limited time, get 2 ham biscuits for $5. That's 2 fluffy country ham biscuits. Cravings meet savings. Order in the app or at Bojangles. It's bow time.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults. Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit Allstate.com or call for a quote today.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
We are back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And, Jeremy, there's a uniform that just got released.
New York Jets. They're awesome. They're sweet. The two Jets uniforms are exactly what I wanted. Thank you, Woody Johnson.
Those aren't the uniforms I was talking about, but I know you're very excited about them.
Sweet. I've already ordered. I ordered the draft hat about 2 minutes before the show.
This is what they've gone back to the Kelly Green, or no, it's not Kelly Green. Is it Kelly Green?
Kelly Green.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, with the word mark. Oh yeah. Hey Giants, you should take a hint. It's probably time you do the same thing.
Just go back to the Giants.
Just okay. Like the current one's awful. It's real bad.
No, this one.
Sims.
This uniform that got released over the weekend, causing quite a stir, was the new track outfit for the U.S. women's team that will be competing in Paris this summer. I have seen less revealing swimsuits in the swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated. So the hip goes real high, right? And they don't have a picture, or I don't have a picture in front of me of this like actually on one of the athletes. However, they do have a picture of it on one of these just, faceless mannequins. And I can see the mannequins things. And I don't really see how this is going to be. Well, I mean, I see how we all see what you did here. But it is just kind of, concerning. Like if I were a father of a daughter who were coming up in the ranks of the track and field, might have a problem with showing some snooch on the old broadcast. Like that's
Sports Take ESPN.
Like it's gonna happen, and was this the goal? Is this what we were going for? U.S. Olympic Committee? The only way you could get people to watch the Olympics is to just start showing us all of the things?
One of these days, there's going to be a time that door swings open right after a segment, and then I just come back by myself.
But we all know the big positive to this. There is no way there can be a unit hidden in that. So we'll all know. We'll all know.
And he doubled down, folks. Jeremy Greene Show will be back right after this. My story is about the craziest person outside of possibly Tank Spencer on the planet Earth, and his name is one Deion Primetime Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he could say anything crazier.
Oh, dear.
Then I only want my sons and Travis Hunter to play for the 5 teams I played for or the Philadelphia Eagles.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, secret time, none of them are interested. Outside of Travis. Now, Travis, you want to start dictating where he plays? Okay. Shador and Shiloh? I'd be a little less picky if I were you. That's just me. He was asked about NIL and how Nick Saban said that the NIL rules and things like that factored into his decision to retire. Here's what Deion said about that. I don't attract that type of player. I attract the type of player that wants to be great, that understands he has a window of opportunity, and he has to have a commitment to excellence. There are players who are playing for a bag, which growing up in the environment, you can't blame them. You can't fault them. If you're going to give up a bag, you're going to have players playing for a bag, so I do understand it. I may not condone that's your focus, because I've always thought if you just focus on being great, the bag is going to find you. Have you looked at your team? Like, you're telling me that the recruit that is attracted to you is because they want to be great 4-8 Deion. Really? You're literally trying to tell me that you're better than Nick Saban because, well, Nick, he just had NIL guys. I got guys that want to be great. I mean, if getting your ass kicked is what you were after, they were great at that.
Yep.
I mean, they were legendary, like Hall of Fame at getting smoked like a deli meat. Will you please shut up for 5 minutes? I love Deion. There is a Deion Sanders helmet behind my head on this live stream. It is getting harder and harder for me to not take it down because he has lost his mind.
He's a crazy person.
Stop talking.
He can't help
immediately.
Himself. He can't help himself. He never has been able to help himself. And now he's got an entire program to try to sell.
I physically do not understand how any parents look at Deion Sanders and go, that's what I want for my kid. I want this egotistical coach who has proven literally less than nothing as a coach and talks more than anybody else. In a society where we have an entitlement problem with kids that talk like they know what they're talking about long before they do, I'm good. I'm 100% good on everything you're selling.
Mm-hmm. But he'll continue to get kids because it's cool. Because he's Deion Sanders. And look, he sends players to the NFL. Maybe. I mean, he hasn't done it yet. But eventually we feel like he will. Plus, how do those kids get so entitled, Jeremy? How does it happen? Do they just get entitled on their own?
Oh, no.
No, it's the parents. Right? All parents, to some degree, at least this day and age, can give a little bit of entitlement to their children. Depending on how much is up to you. And as we see time and time again, there's a lot. Especially in athletes who get coddled and pushed through systems and just, they're the best athletes, so they get all the benefits of the doubt and things. He's not going to be starved for players.
No, I'm just stuck on the we don't attract the NIL after the bag guy. After you specifically said that that's what you were doing, I swear it's almost like Deion talks and then he goes to sleep and he forgets what he said yesterday.
So he could be president next.
That's top 5 funniest thing you've ever said. Kudos,
Thank
sir.
you.
Kudos.
Thank you.
You should put that on your reel when they come fire you in about 7 minutes.
Cutting Edge Radio. It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Let's
I don't feel like we have a sensitive listenership.
No, not at all.
If you've made it this far, you're our constituency.
Indeed. All right, let's close out your top 13 corners for the 2024 NFL Draft.
All right, I'll go rapid fire on these guys.
Okay.
Anus Rakestraw is my 6th. You were watching tape on him earlier, and you said, I feel like even his highlight tape had 7 pass interferences.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest drawback on him. If this was Madden and we could turn pass interference off, Anus Rakestraw might be a top 10 pick.
Yes.
The problem is you can't do that, so...
He'll be really good at NFL Blitz.
Oh, yeah.
But he's
going
going
to turn the sliders down, and you really just had to mug a guy to get a flag. He'd be a star. Unfortunately, that's not how this goes.
Yeah, no, he's going to see a lot of flags.
But he's my 6. Kamari Lassiter is my 7. I wish he was faster. I really do, and he may end up having to play safety. I mean, 4.6 is bad. Especially at his size. I mean, because he's one of the lighter corners in this class. And then he turned into a time where he was one of the slower ones. Mike Sanderstrill is my 8. I think he will be a really, really good slot corner in the league. I just don't know that he's ever going to be more than that. Then we get to Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Wow, that seems real low.
I've soured on Kool-Aid pretty bad. The tape is just not fun to watch. There is nothing about watching him because I feel like he regressed under Nick Saban, and that's hard to do. I mean, as time went on, he got worse and worse and worse and worse with a really good corner on the other side, and that doesn't make any sense to me. And I feel like he's treated like he's a star.
Yes.
And I don't think he is. I mean, good receivers are going to eat him for lunch. This is going to sound strange. I think he needs to play in a zone scheme where he can drop back and attack the ball as opposed to attacking the receiver.
Okay.
He's just not very good at it. Mm-hmm. And that could be it. He could be a great value for somebody that puts him in the right scheme and allows him to do that. Tampa Bay. In that Todd Bowles scheme, I think he would be fine. The problem is that every team I hear targeting him does not do that. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to go particularly well.
This is the landmine in the cornerback class for you, right? Because somebody's going to take him way too high. Like,
well, the thing about Kool-Aid is that if you were trying to push him down, you've succeeded because everyone I talk to is down on him.
Mm-hmm.
The question is how far, and I may have gone too far. I don't know. I have him one spot ahead of Chris Abrams-Drain, who is a really good slot corner, but that is 100% all he's ever going to be. I tried to fight the good fight on that, then I went back and watched the tape. No, he's a slot guy. You're right. I'm wrong.
Okay. Chris Abrams-Drain at 10?
Yes. Then I go DJ James and Nehemiah Pritchett, the 2 Auburn guys, and Max Melton is my 13.
All right. There you have it.
And then there are about 47 corners that I think have a draftable grade. And you'll notice that I didn't have Cam Hart up there. It's not because I don't like him. It's just you get to a certain point. So my top 100 that we'll be putting out next week, right before the draft, that goes into the media contest. That's the top 100 players drafted. Cam Hart is officially to the I'm not sure you go in the top 100. I think you should, but I'm not sure that you will. He would be my 14. Then Kalen Carson would be my 15. Kyrie Jackson would be my 16.
All right, the top 16 corners.
Oh, I keep going if you want to. Oh, we still got another minute here before.
It's top 13 corners of the NFL draft. We will have each and every position's top 13 released by the big day coming up in Detroit, Michigan next Thursday. Feels weird to say, but it's coming up fast. We've got a lot of plans to make to bring you all of the coverage from Radio Row in Detroit. Yep, that's right. The NFL, once again, letting us grace the city with our presence.
Still dumbfounds us. Every time they send us a credential with our name on it, we're like, are you here?
Are you sure you want to let us in?
Do you know who we are?
But
you realize that I'm going to show up like the Pompadour Cowboy, right? Like,
so
you're
maybe,
good with that?
maybe all the more reason you not to show up as the Pompadour Cowboy.
Oh,
just in case they, really didn't mean to let us in. Don't bring it to their attention.
They have a picture of us. They know who we are.
Yes, next week we are planning the coverage for you Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday live from Radio Row in Detroit, Michigan. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Jeremy's Picks of the Night. Green on Green coming up next.
Hey, if you're listening to me right now, I have one thing every business needs most: attention. Think about it. We swipe and scroll past stuff all day, but when we're driving, cooking, working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Call 844-ADD-HELP-5. That's 844-ADD-HELP-5.
When we think about our health, we usually think about exercising and eating healthier, but don't forget that part of your overall health is your dental health. And y'all, if it's been 6 months or longer since your last visit, you need to get in to see the dentist. And Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry, they offer general family dentistry as well as Invisalign orthodontics, Botox, fillers, sleep apnea screenings, and more. Dr. Merrill and the staff at Asheville Smiles, they're taking new patients, so get your smile back on track. World-class dental care with a hometown feel, AshevilleSmiles.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
What are you doing?
I'm training for the new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs. I could get a chance to dash through a warehouse full of prizes.
That explains the shopping cart.
Plus, I could win up to $2 million in cash.
And that explains the tuxedo.
I'm chafing.
Feel the rush with new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.78. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
We're to the playoffs in the NBA, and it looks like we're on a collision course for Denver and Boston. That doesn't pay very well, and there is somebody that could be the fly in the ointment, and I'll tell you who that is. I'm Jeremy Greene of thesportsocracy.com, and this is Green on Green, brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Actively, Boston is plus 160, and Denver is plus 280 to be your champion as the playoffs unfold. Both of those teams are really good, but I don't think either one's infallible. I look at Denver, and the Western Conference is so deep. You've got several teams that are really young and really talented. They could get got. I just can't tell you which team is going to do it. I look to the East, though. Boston is a really good team, but there is a New York team that does something that very few teams in the NBA do, and that's play really high-quality defense. When I'm looking to take a dart throw in futures, that's what I'm looking for. Which team does something that no one else does? New York is plus 4,500 to win the NBA title. Do I think they're going to do that? Not really, but I'm catching such a high number, and I think they're the only impediment to Boston, with Philadelphia being so hurt and Milwaukee just going off the tracks. So, have your throw at Boston at plus 160, have your throw at Denver at plus 280, but I am looking at that plus 4,500, just going, that's the absolute grand slam home run, and there is a path that it could actually work out for you. And you could do worse than one on Oklahoma City and Philadelphia as well. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now using code JGBETS and bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code JGBETS. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only, new customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC.
The Sportsocracy.
We're just dumber than a bag of hammers.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pretty easy one as we roll into a Monday afternoon. I hope everybody gets a chance to get outside, enjoy the beautiful weather. I mean, I understand with the allergies and the pollen and all that, and hopefully we'll get something to clean us out here, but really don't see much rain in the forecast. Sunny today, 80. Tonight, 55. Some clouds around. Tuesday morning, there could be some fog, then partial sun in the afternoon, 80. Wednesday, maybe a shower, thunderstorm, high 75. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by
Bojangles. It's always bow time.
It's bow time. The only thing you want after a made-from-scratch Bojangles biscuit with juicy country ham is another one. For a limited time, get 2 ham biscuits for $5. That's 2 fluffy country ham biscuits. Cravings meet savings. Order in the app or at Bojangles. It's bow time.
Thursday, May 2nd, Orange Peel Events presents Portugal the Man at Rabbit Rabbit.
Can keep my hands on myself. Dust them off, put them back up on the shelf.
Get your tickets now online at theorangepeel.net. Don't miss Portugal the Man live May 2nd at Rabbit Rabbit.
It's the Marketers Report. Today, Capital One's Chief Brand Officer, Mark Mentry, weighs in on building loyalty with customers.
Capital One has really worked to create amazing access moments for our customers. We will do sound check parties that only Capital One cardholders can get access to, and we can't pull that off without iHeart.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Woody and Wilcox. By the way, that's my favorite thing about bowling alleys is the little blower that helps you dry the sweaty hands.
No offense, you are out of shape if you're sweating while you're bowling.
Oh, I'm sweating just doing this. Are you kidding me?
Rock 105.1, Asheville's real rock.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, FUN. That's fun. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy. Shake it back! Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
And we are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400, a Monday of, well, the week before the big week. The NFL draft coming up next week, next Thursday in Detroit, Michigan. We will be there live covering it for you from Radio Row Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. It is the draftmas season, and in the run-up, though, we love a good mock draft more than anybody else. And so, head-to-head mock draft is what we're going to do for the for the foreseeable future here in the Sportsocracy. Jeremy, he's given me the ones, or the odds, so I get the one pick. And then he'll take the evens. We'll go back and forth and just have a little fun with it here in the Sportsocracy on this Monday afternoon. We do, before we get into the draft, though, have a question from the YouTube chat here. Who is this? Red Sea? Was it Red Sea that was asking?
Kynan Larson.
Oh, excuse me. Kynan Larson was asking.
I think we said that right. I hope so.
For your thoughts on Andrew Phillips as a prospect.
There are two things that it's really hard for corners to learn. One of them is technique. For whatever reason, once guys get into bad technique habits, it's really hard to break. He does not have that problem. He does, however, have the problem of he has the instincts of a small child. So it could be reps. He may need more reps. I'm seeing him higher in mocks. I have a 4th-round grade on him because the technique is really good, and I think if you gave him a couple years, you could have a prospect in Andrew Phillips. The thing I'm afraid of is I'm starting to see him in the 2nd round. And in the 2nd round, that means you're going to be on the field and you're going to be asked to play at a high level really quick, and I'm not sure he can do that. He's super raw. I want him to fall into the back end of 3, beginning of 4. But, I mean, look, there's tape to like. It's just he doesn't trust his eyes nearly enough. And he almost always seems like he's a step behind. And that does bother me. I like the kid. I'm just not so sure I'm liking what his range is right now.
If you're just joining us in the first hour, we released at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Greene's top 13 corners for the draft. So there's Andrew Phillips, little analysis on him out of Kentucky. Where was he at on your list?
20.
At number 20 in the Flostradamus corners list for 2024. We'll continue to do all of the position groups here in the Sportsocracy in the lead up to the NFL draft next
First, you
week.
should probably answer that email.
I did. I turned it off. It's fine. Just roll with it.
Be cool.
Be okay.
I just want people to know it wasn't me because my computer can't play sounds. So, because we got a sound problem in here that's driving me nuts.
Yeah. We're still working on it.
Sorry, I just people asked in the chat. I hear it. It's running right in here, like being waterboarded. It's what it is. It's what it's like.
The mock draft here, head to head, Jeremy. Back and forth we go. Number 1 pick belonging to the Chicago Bears. It's Caleb Williams.
Didn't even think about it.
Well, what is there to think about? The Chicago Bears need a quarterback. They've done everything they can to clear the path for this to be a quarterback, and he's the only one, to me, that makes sense.
Oh, he is not the only one that makes sense to me.
I know you like Jaden Daniels. I know Jaden Daniels is your number 1.
I like Drake May. I love Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is the one that I would be riding with, and I'll go ahead and tell you, you're not going to have to work real hard in your old mind brain to figure out where I'm going at, too. I don't see it in Caleb. I get the raw tools. There are way too many. I've heard some things that if we did this show until I was 200 years old, I could not tell you some of the things I've been told about Caleb Williams through this process. And a lot of them scare the heber-jeebers out of me. I'm good. If I had the number 1 pick, I would take Jaden Daniels, and I'm going to say that every single time this comes up between now and next Thursday.
But you're not making the pick.
You're right.
And Ryan Poles is. And if you passed on Caleb Williams and he became everything they want him to be, you're screwed. You're fired, no question about it. Jaden Daniels can be fine, and you'd still be on the hot seat for passing up on Caleb Williams.
And what you just said is why being a GM in the NFL is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guarantee you that Ryan Poles is sitting here, because I know they've met. I know he's been at the facility. And look, we met him at the Combine. I thought he represented himself just fine when he was answering questions. And the more I thought about it and the more I heard things behind closed doors, it felt like an act. It felt like you were saying exactly what you wanted me to hear. And then there have been some unsettling things said behind closed doors. I'm good. I think this Bears team is really, really good. And I just need a point guy that can be the leader that I need. And for me, that would be Jaden Daniels, not Caleb Williams.
Number 2 pick, belonging to the Washington Commanders.
I bet you already know what I'm going to say.
It's Jaden Daniels.
It's Jaden Daniels. No doubt. Didn't think about it. I think he is a star. I mean, star. And I can't for the life of me figure out why people don't see that. The number one thing I look for when I look at, and I consume a lot of draft content that's not ours. The number one thing I look for is where do you have Jaden Daniels? And if it's not in the top 10, I'm going to need you to explain that. Because what's the knock on him? What is your number one knock on Jaden Daniels?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
I really don't have a real problem with anything he does.
Throwing motion.
Okay.
It's the only thing I've got. But he's accurate. He's got a great deep ball arm. He's hyper mobile. Sometimes I wish he would stay in the pocket more than he does, but if I was as fast as he is, I probably would run a lot too. Big bodied. I don't have to worry about the height. I don't have to worry about where the release point is. All I need to do is round off your throwing motion a little bit. And make sure that your feet, your eyes, and your hands are in concert with each other. That's it. I don't have anything else. And I don't get it. I swear to you, if aliens nested, they landed at Area 51, and they called me, and they said, we want to see your draft prospects. And I sat them down having absolutely no preconceived notion of who was who. And you watch Jaden Daniels on tape, and you watch Caleb Williams on tape. I cannot believe that anybody with an IQ above salad dressing would watch Caleb Williams and go, he's better. You look at the level of competition he played. You look at the I don't understand how anybody watches the Notre Dame tape and walks away from that going, that's a tie-in prospect. Name me that tape that Andrew Luck had. Oh, name me that tape that Trevor Lawrence had. Oh, wait, there wasn't one. Oh, it didn't exist. Because prospects that good don't have games that bad when they have the best coach in America and they have all this talent around them. Got 2 receivers that are going to get drafted because I keep hearing, oh, but the weapons weren't that good. 2 weapons are going to get drafted in the second day. Brandon Rice, Taj Washington. Had a running back, Marshawn Lloyd, that's going to get drafted probably early in day 3. Remind me again how you didn't have the weapons. I mean, I get it. Jaden Daniels had 2 first-round guys. What else do you have? Who else are you lining up just jumping up and down? You think that line was great? No. Think that running back room was great? No. Defense was awful. Awful. I don't understand it. I don't think I'm ever going to understand it.
Yep.
This is one of those times that I wish I could bet on the futures of the player. Like, which one's the first one to make a Pro Bowl? I'll take Jaden Daniels. I'll wait on the payoff. I don't care.
You're going to wait 2 or 3 years at least for the payoff on that one. However, who knows? Washington may be a great situation for him to step into. He will have weapons to choose from. Hopefully they will have an offensive line that can protect him, because that was my biggest concern for the last quarterback there. And it'll continue to be my biggest problem with Jaden moving forward.
Which is what?
His protection that he would get in Washington. I'm talking post-pick here.
I like where the line is at. It is improved to me. And don't be shocked if Washington makes a move to add another lineman in this draft. Early.
All right, number 3. The pick belongs to me.
I'm glad you have to do this because
New England Patriots have that pick. They will be taking offers from anybody who wants to jump up here.
Well,
the Denver Broncos at 12.
Well, Denver had to poop. So you can expect there will not, because I control Denver.
Yeah,
there will not be an offer coming there.
I have Minnesota, and I don't think that they're doing it. I don't think they're pulling the trigger to get up into the top 3.
Minnesota's the one that would do it.
They are the one that would do it.
I mean, I'll tell you as the passive observer here, because I have neither New England nor Minnesota. The offer will be made of 11-23 next year's 1 to get up to 3 to get Drake May because they are in love with him.
Mm-hmm. And is that something that they would accept?
New England?
Yes.
I think you're going to learn a lot about who's pulling the strings, because if it's Elliott Wolf, the answer would be yes. Because I like Drake May a lot. I don't think I'm putting him in a position to succeed. So I will happily drop back, add some players, knowing full well that I got Jacoby Brissett, I got Bailey Zappi. I don't care if Joe Montana was in this draft class. You are not winning more than 6 games with this roster. You're just not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't try to jump in line. Add the talent. That's what I would do. I'd do it with a smile. See you, bye. I'll drop down to 11. I'll take best player sitting there on the board. Could be Brock Bowers. Could be a slew of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And at 23, I will take another piece. And I will have 2 first-round picks next year, which I think will both be in the top 10. I would be looking at the Chicago Bears going, hey, do you feel better about Chicago after this draft or after last year? Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Yep. Okay. All right, you talked me into it. Let's do it. Minnesota goes up. They give the 3 picks. Because the more and more we talked about it, I thought that was going to be a thing that would go out the window. Of the 3 first-round draft picks are not enough or maybe too much for Minnesota's blood. So let's go. Minnesota trades up to 3, and they get Drake May. Because the pick was going to be Drake May one way or the other.
Drake comes into a situation there in Minnesota where I don't know what the odds would be. I feel like Caleb Williams would be minus money to be the Rookie of the Year, and Jaden Daniels would be plus probably 2 bills, maybe 250.
Mm-hmm.
Drake May would be in the 4 to 5 range, and I would be all over Drake May. I was with him throwing to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison with the big deep ball arm he's got and Aaron Jones back behind him. Okay, this team could be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I also feel like, and I'd be remiss if I didn't point this out, Minnesota could just stand pat and roll with Sam Darnold and do the exact same thing. I'll hold on to my 2 picks. I'll build this team out a year from now. If Sam's not the guy, I'll be in a position to take Quinn Ewers next year. And by the way, I do see a lot of similarity between Quinn Ewers and Drake May. Somebody asked me that the other day, and I didn't get around to answering it before we went off the air. There are a lot of similarities between Quinn Ewers and Drake May.
Okay. At number 4, you've got the Arizona Cardinals picking here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, anybody want to call on that other quarterback?
No.
Really? You don't have anybody that's going to make an offer? Because there's a joke coming. If you could.
Well,
I mean, we just had The Rock at WrestleMania, so I worked this up.
Okay, excuse me. So the Minnesota Vikings just traded up to 3.
Yes.
So the Las Vegas Raiders, maybe they're interested in calling out?
You do only control the odds.
Yes.
All right, so I'll throw one out for Denver. Hey, we'll offer you. It doesn't matter what your offer is. Marvin Harrison Jr.
It's a great setup, yes.
I don't care what you're offering me. Get somewhere. I also don't think those offers are coming for J.J. McCarthy. I am telling you, I am as convinced as anything I have ever seen in my life that this McCarthy thing is a smokescreen.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't figure out which one of these GMs is going to go, yep, I'm going to ride my job on that guy. I'm gonna hop on that train and have a steady, I'm going to have Pepto-Bismol, the whole mess of it. I'm going to have stock in it. Because I'm going to have upset stomach, nausea, indigestion, diarrhea, and all the things. Because he scares the bejeebers out of me. I don't think 3-1s is coming. Minnesota would do it for Drake May. I don't think they'd do it for J.J. McCarthy.
I don't either.
And I promise you they're not doing it for Bo Nix.
No. Nobody's giving up major capital like that. I mean, maybe if it gets down and they fall closer to our picks, 12 and 13, they get to 10 or something, it wouldn't cost me that much to get up there to get them.
There is one team that has McCarthy ahead of Drake May. I don't know who that team is, but I have it on good authority. There is a team in the NFL that has McCarthy ahead of him. So if Drake May fell to 4, I do think somebody would come calling with 3-1s. J.J. McCarthy, nope. No, sir. I don't like it. So I'll sit here and take Marvin Harrison Jr., and I have no qualms with it.
All right. We are down to pick number 5. You want to do one more before we take the break?
We'll take the break.
We'll take the break.
Go in 4-pick blocks if at all possible.
All right.
It's not going to work that way because it never does.
The Los Angeles Chargers on the clock with the 5th pick in the head-to-head mock draft. We'll be right back here in the Sportsocracy.
The roof is the most important part of the home, and this month ESPN Asheville and Balkan Roofing are giving one away free of charge. Through April, go to ESPNAVL.com and click on the Balkan Roofing's Roofing for a Reason. Follow the link to nominate a homeowner in need of a new roof and why they should be our winner. At the end of the month, one iHeart Asheville winner will be selected. Make your nominations again at ESPNAVL.com. Roofing for a Reason with Balkan Roofing.
To celebrate everyone who's customized and saved hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, we got a savings siren that goes off every time someone saves. There it is! It's a really more savings, which really... Okay, a lot of savings. Little annoying now. Will you stop saving for 5 seconds?
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
At Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation, our focus is on you. With 18 locations across North Carolina, specializing in short-term rehabilitation and long-term care, our team is ready to support your loved one, providing the compassionate care they need for whatever lies ahead. From physical and occupational therapy to individualized long-term support, discover the ways Sandstone provides compassionate care for all at SANStonehealth.com.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can of kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. It is a mock draft Monday. Jeremy and I trading off picks here. I got the odd picks. He's got the even picks. Just rolling through what the NFL draft could look like. Caleb Williams to Chicago. Jaden Daniels to Washington. Drake May to the Minnesota Vikings at 3, who traded up 3 first-round draft picks. To the New England Patriots. The Arizona Cardinals trading back out of the 4 spot. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it for Red Sea. He had to leave. Yes, Red Sea. You're
Marvin
getting
Harrison Jr.
Marvin Harrison Jr. It's all fine. Now, the 5th pick belongs to the Los Angeles Chargers. This has been another pick that has been a target of, do they want to trade back? Somebody want to get up and get the quarterback.
As the team that's in the division that, no, I'm good, dog.
He's okay. Denver Broncos not moving up. Raiders aren't moving up for a quarterback. There's nobody else going to make this call. Anyway, at 5. And so the Chargers will sit here, and I firmly believe that if that is the case, they will go with Joe Alt, the tackle out of Notre Dame.
I do not, but the Tennessee Titans just went, oh, shoot.
Jim Harbaugh is a guy who really loves to have his offensive line be great. This is a way to make it great. You got Joe Alt on one side, Rashawn Slater on the other. Whichever way you want to move them around from here to the end of eternity, that's up to him. But the one thing he has said since he took this job is, I want to run the damn ball. And a great way for you to do that is to have great tackles. So I think they will end up going with Joe Alt. I get that second best wide receiver, third best wide receivers on the board here, but this is a deep draft in wide receivers. I can get a no doubt what they probably feel is an all-pro at some point. Why would I not do that?
Hey, you're singing to the choir here. I agree with you. The Tennessee Titans just said many obscenities. The New York Giants just went, yay! Something went right for once. Malik Neighbors, don't even think about it. I'll go same thing I said with the Cardinals. It doesn't matter what your offer is. I'm taking Malik Neighbors right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would be remiss if I didn't point this out. There are some teams that do not have Malik Neighbors on their board.
Why?
He has character red flags that are terrifying.
Interesting.
I don't know if they are as scary as they're being made out to be. He's also a receiver, and I'm going to be really honest with you. I have felt this way for a long time, and I will continue to feel this way. I don't like character red flags out of my quarterback. I don't really like character red flags out of my edge rusher. Other than that, I don't really care. Oh, he's not a guy I'd want to go grab beers with. Okay, well, shucksy doodles. You know what he is? A guy that's going to go win me football games because he's awesome with the ball in his hand. And look, did I think about taking J.J. McCarthy? Honestly, no, I didn't. No. Because I don't think he belongs here. I don't think he is the 6th best player in this class. You cannot convince me that he is. And I don't know that he's any better than Daniel Jones. I also know if I'm the ownership, I'm not emboldening Brian Daboll and this brain trust to select a quarterback just for me to have a new offensive system in a year. I'm going to give that quarterback that you tied your future to another weapon. And that'll be a weapon for whoever the replacement is for him a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean I'm throwing up the white flag? A little bit. Or maybe Daniel Jones finds lightning in a bottle if he's healthy. I don't know how he's going to do that with no running game to speak of, and one of the most unbelievably bad off seasons I've ever seen. But I'm going to get this right. I'm going to get it right with Malik Neighbors and him and Wan'Dale Robinson. Good luck. Mm-hmm. Good luck, Daniel Jones.
Okay. At number 7.
I feel like they would be feverishly working the phones. Bob Brown asked if Malik Neighbors' red flags are worse than Jermaine Burton. In a word, nope. No, they're not.
What happened to Jermaine Burton?
Jermaine Burton's personnel profile looks like I should have dated it because there are red flags everywhere.
Okay.
It looks like a NASCAR race after a 30-car pileup. There's some teams that don't care. One of them got new uniforms today, and their helmets behind my head.
All right, number 7, the Tennessee Titans on the clock here. Is anybody calling them to move up?
I mean, I feel like if they're willing to take what the pick is worth, I mean, if I'm Denver, I would be calling Tennessee. It's just, what is that offer going to look like?
I mean, right, I have to give you...
You have Tennessee, I have Denver. You tell me what that trade's going to look like.
Right, and so you're giving me 12?
I can get down with 12.
And 2 2s? Get a 2 this year and a 2 next year? Are you
asking me or telling me?
No, I'm asking you. Is that does that calculate?
I don't have a 2 this year. I have a 3, and I would give you a 2 next year. And that is my final offer.
So a 3 and a 2 next year?
I will give you 12 in this draft. I will give you 76, and I will give you my second-round pick next year. According to the draft value chart, I'm overpaying.
I would say yes. If I was Tennessee.
You're the chief. You have control.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll say yes.
Huzzah!
How about it?
All right, Denver Broncos move up to 7 and take J.J. McCarthy. Do I feel great about that? Nope. No, I don't. But I didn't give up nearly as I didn't give up 3 first-round picks.
No.
I gave up 12. I didn't have to give up Patrick Surtain. I didn't have to give up any of the – and I got a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to pay my price. I know I'm bidding against myself.
And in this scenario, I don't feel like Tennessee got a bad deal.
They didn't, because you will probably take the same player at 12 that you were going to take at 7.
Absolutely.
And you added 2 day 2 picks, 1 this year, 1 next year.
This screams to me the move that Minnesota made a few years back when they traded down, 8 spots and ended up getting Christian Darrisaw, the guy that they were targeting at 10.
And guess what? That happens a lot.
Yeah. So Tennessee moves back. Denver comes up. They get J.J. McCarthy at 7. Now you're on the clock with the Atlanta Falcons at 8.
I mean, I feel like, hey, does anybody want to talk? Nobody wants to talk to me?
Not anymore.
Okay, sweet.
Not anymore. Tennessee got the deal.
Well, sweet. That means I'm going to sit here. You know, I'm the GM of this team, and I can do what I want to do. I'm going to take Rome Odunze. I want to score points. I need a receiver. I have Drake London. I have Kyle Pitts, and now I have Rome Odunze.
Look at that.
I feel like we are bypassing even the insinuation that Atlanta would take him there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you, the other one I considered was not Dallas Turner. I thought about taking Quinyon Mitchell, but I have Odunze higher.
I understand the Quinyon Mitchell thing. I mean, it's not that Rome doesn't make sense. I mean, clearly you want to give as many weapons as you can.
Mm-hmm. I'm all in.
I had not thought about it, but I like the curveball here.
I'm all in. I added Kirk Cousins and gave him $11 gajillion. I have a tight end that is very Darren Waller-ish that plays like a wide receiver quite often.
Mm-hmm.
I have another wide receiver that is gigantic. I just added a 4.45 6'3" receiver that can go on the other side. Good luck.
All right.
I wish you the best of luck in trying to defend me.
Right.
And you say, oh, but they need another pass rusher. You're right. There's not a pass rusher worth taking here. I'm picking in the top 10. I wanted to trade back. Nobody called.
Mm-hmm.
I took the best player on the board. I build an offense, and I'll tell you what got me thinking about this. Name me the really good defense in the NFC. Like, who's a really good defense in the NFC?
Oh, there's not one.
San Francisco should be.
Oh, well, yeah, San Francisco.
They should be, but, man, you lost a lot of pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Brock Purdy. I have Kirk Cousins. They were 32nd in the NFL last year, so. Yeah, I get you got Vic Fangio.
They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of talent.
You got Vic Fangio, so you have a competent defense coordinator now. Can you shoot out with me? With my 3 receivers? Oh, by the way, I have Bijan Robinson too. Can you shoot out with me?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can play 12 personnel all day long. All day. I can run at you. I'm going to score points. And look, the defense was good last year. Do I have to add more pieces? Absolutely, no doubt. Is Dallas Turner the one that's going to put me over the top? No.
No, but could Roma Dunze be? Yeah.
You're going to have to score on me.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to score on me. And we've treated that like it was just a foregone conclusion that they're going to take a pass rusher there. Mm-hmm. I'm not so sure of that.
Well, I mean, read the trends, right? It tends to be what Atlanta usually does. Or at least what we usually think they should do. Because they haven't had one in 20 years. Roma Dunze could flip this team around, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good pick by you. Good pick by you. All right, and then number 9, that pick belongs to the Chicago Bears.
I feel like they're a team that would be calling anybody that would listen.
Yes. Is there anything left to move up for?
Well, I mean, if you want Brock Bowers, this would be the spot. Because he ain't going to I'll go ahead and tell you, you got a team that wants Brock Bowers, I'll tip my hand. He ain't making it past 10.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pretty easy one as we roll into a Monday afternoon. I hope everybody gets a chance to get outside and enjoy the beautiful weather. I mean, I understand with the allergies and the pollen and all that, and hopefully we'll get something to clean us out here, but really don't see much rain in the forecast. Sunny today, 80. Tonight, 55. Some clouds around. Tuesday morning, there could be some fog, then partial sun in the afternoon, 80. Wednesday, maybe a shower, thunderstorm, high 75. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell.
Looking for a new career, great benefits, a safe work environment, and on-the-job training? Meet UPM Raflatac, a global manufacturer of label materials, now hiring in Mills River and Fletcher. Feel good about where you work. Learn more at rafjob.com. That's RAFJOB.com.
The key to any successful business is maximizing your reach. That's where the power of radio can help you get more customers in your doors and telling all of their friends about our friends. Hello, friends. Get your message to the masses through ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, and iHeartMedia Asheville. Learn how all of our great partners like Ingles Markets, DraftKings Sportsbook, and Monster Brewing, to name a few, use us to continue to build their businesses. Just email me, Tank Spencer at iHeartMedia.com.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults. Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
At Ingles, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Not only does it ensure that you get top-quality, fresh items for your family table, it's a way for us to support the amazing individuals who pour their heart and soul into delivering the very best they can do. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is a mock draft Monday here in the Sportsocracy. It is the head-to-head mock draft. I got the odd picks. Jeremy's got the even picks. Just kind of culling together what we would do in the 2024 NFL draft, or what these teams are going to do. I personally would not have taken Caleb Williams number 1 overall. But
you did.
I know that's because I know that's what's going to happen. To me, it's ridiculous to assume that anything else or predict that anything else is going to happen.
Well, Vegas agrees with you
in that scenario. We're up to the 9th pick with the Chicago Bears on the clock after the Atlanta Falcons threw a curveball. Flostradamus taking Roma Dunze to add to that bevy of weapons that Kirk Cousins is going to have at his disposal down in Atlanta. The Chicago Bears are open to trade offers. The Cincinnati Bengals down at 18. Are they making a trade to get up and get the tight end? Because everybody knows he's not making it far.
We have needs. I mean, it would cost me a 1 or 2. It would cost me 18, my 2 and my 4, and I'm just not giving up those 2 picks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll call the Jets bluff. If you don't take him, then, we can start talking with some of those teams that are in the early teens. But I can't give up both of those picks.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to do. It's hard to give up that much capital when you've got other holes to fill. But Brock Bowers, depends on what the front office believes. Is he a generational type player? And would he play a big role in my offense?
Well, I mean, that's the thing you got to remember is if I trade up there with T. Higgins saying he expects to be back in Cincinnati, it means he's going to be my 3rd target.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of hard for me to justify.
What about the Denver Broncos? Oh, they traded up. Tennessee? No, Tennessee's not interested.
Nope, I already got Chicago.
All right, well, I guess Chicago's just stuck. Chicago stuck with the number 9 pick, and they will take Jared Verse, the edge rusher out of Florida State.
I agree with you that is the best edge rusher in this class. And he's the only one to me that fits the value there.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think he's a 3-down end the minute he gets into the league. I think you could stand him up. I don't love that as much, but I'm okay with it either way.
Mm-hmm.
Even with teams that have 3-man fronts, you got to remember when nickel comes around, we're still 4-down linemen. So I still got Montez Sweat on one side, I still got Jared Verse on the other, and I feel really, really good about that.
As you should. The Chicago Bears, I have said for a long time, I feel like number 9 is solid as a rock. They're having their little mock trial. I think edge rusher wins out 100 times out of 100, and for some reason I just feel like Jared Verse is the pick no matter what, even with Dallas Turner on the board. Feels more Chicago Berry to me.
I love Verse. I love Verse. I've loved Verse since he came to Florida State. And I think the value is right there.
Yep. Number 10, the New York Football Jets.
we're not listening to offers. We will happily take Brock Nathaniel Bowers III, tight end out of Georgia. Thank you.
The Jets adding Brock Bowers.
He's in Florham Park today.
It's the thing that makes the most sense.
Well, I mean, you just look at what the weapons look like. I think they will add another receiver at some point in this draft. You've got Brock Bowers. You add that to Garrett Wilson. You add that to Breece Hall. You add that to Mike Williams. That defense with that defense that's out of this world good.
The only caveat to that, or the only problem that I would have is your offensive line finished?
If they're healthy, you're fine. You also have to remember the guys that started last year are very capable backups. It's what they were drafted to be. You also get back Elijah Vera Tucker. Look, would I consider Ola Fashanu? No doubt. It's also kind of hard for me to look at this offensive line as it sits and know that the guy I'm taking in the first round is going to sit. Because he would not play over Morgan Moses and he would not play over Tyron Smith. And I can't play him at guard. So I'm going all in, and I'm taking a guy at 10 that I have no intention of playing this year. That's hard for me to wrap my brain around.
Yeah.
I'm going all in. I'm getting Aaron another target, and that target's Brock Bowers. And he's going to look real good in those new throwback sweet helmets. And now there's a black one that's got green on the sleeves, and I want to own one and wear it and have my name on it.
Okay. Number 11 pick, belonging to the New England Patriots. After the trade with the Minnesota Vikings, they got up to 3. The Patriots have 11, 23, and they got a first-round pick next year as well.
They got good value, and there's a lot of players here that would really help New England.
Yes. This may not be their biggest need that they need. However, I feel like it would be hard for their new coach to look away from such a great defensive talent that would be sitting at number 11. And with the 11th pick, New England Patriots will select Quinion Mitchell, the cornerback out of Toledo. Now I have Christian Gonzalez and Quinion Mitchell in the secondary, and I'm going to dare you to throw on me.
I mean, I can't say that's a bad – I can't say you made a bad move there. You got my number one corner in the class.
It was either doing that or taking a tackle.
That is what I would have done.
And is Ola Fashanu, is he better
than Quinion Mitchell? No.
And that was
Is he better than what you have? Yes.
Yes, he is. But that's where I would go.
I get it. It's an interesting start to a build. You have 2 first-round corners now. I mean, that team would be very difficult to throw on. Because you got 2 guys that you can just lock up and man.
Yep. And now maybe I can try to keep the Jets at bay. Now I got 2 guys that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle might be a little feared of.
Yeah, the only problem is that you can't score with them. We have Jacoby Brissett and Devontae Parker. Sweet.
I don't think Ola Fashanu was going to be helping me in that category anyway.
You're not wrong. Sauce Gardner's now looking at the 2 New England games going, I don't even know that I have to stretch before this one.
Number 12.
The Tennessee Titans, and I will take exactly who I was going to take at 7, and I added 2 nice pieces of draft capital. I'll go Ola Fashanu right here at 12. I'm going to slot him in next to Peter Skoronski. Nick Petit-Frere goes to the right side. I feel like my line is drastically improved. I added Calvin Ridley. Got Tony Pollard, so I've got a bit more of a home run hitter. I just don't have that thumper. I don't have Derrick Henry anymore, so it's going to be a little harder for me to run the ball, but I feel like I'm setting Will Levis up in pretty good shape. We should be able to throw the ball and see what we have in Levis. I think Fashanu is a better than the 12th pick in this draft player. I've also heard there is a possibility that he falls drastically further than this, and that is insane to me. The move I was talking about earlier with Washington, it was Fashanu falling and them jumping up to get him as well as the quarterback.
Oh, wow.
Which that started floating about a week ago, and now I can't get it out of my head. I want to find a way to do a mock draft where that happens. Just couldn't do it here.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 13 pick. It's the Las Vegas Raiders. Next up, after we return from the break here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
To tell you that Keno picks 20 winning numbers, we wrote a winning number of our own. Hit it, boys. You pick up to 10. Keno picks 20. It's easy to play for a whole lot of money. Winning numbers are everywhere with Keno from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win a prize range from 1 in 3.86 to 16.63. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Summit Dental is accepting new patients. At Summit, they submit insurance on your behalf and provide you with estimates, so you have everything you need to make an informed treatment decision. They also work with Care Credit, and they're happy to help you apply. Care Credit helps you pay for out-of-pocket healthcare expenses. See why Summit Dental has so many 5-star reviews on Google. Book today at AshevilleSummitDental.com. In-house savings programs are also available. Book online at AshevilleSummitDental.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Head-to-head mock draft time on a mock draft Monday. Odd picks belong to me. Even picks belong to at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Greene. Number 13 pick is the Las Vegas Raiders. Trying to figure out how I can sabotage this organization from within.
It'd be hard to do because they have absolutely crushed this offseason.
They have. They've done very, very well. And I thought there were a couple of spots that I thought, well, you know, maybe we could go corner. which made a lot of sense to me with Quinion Mitchell if he was going to be available, but they just got snaked by the New England Patriots. I don't know how high they are on Terrion Arnold.
That's what, if I were making this pick, that would be who it was.
Mm-hmm.
They just picked up Cody Whitehair, who I think slots in at that second guard spot. So he would be in between James and Colton Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like the Raiders have fortified everything to the point that they don't have to do anything. And so I'll take the luxury pick of Terrion Arnold as my 2.
But are they good on their offensive line?
It's pretty solid.
Okay. Who plays on the right side?
Thayer Mumford.
Is he any good?
He was fine last year.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if you wanted to go Talisi Fuaga,
That's
I'm
what I
not
was
going to
thinking.
tell you no.
I was thinking Talisi Fuaga. My other option was Byron Murphy, but with Christian Wilkins coming in, I don't think you need that.
You've got Tyree Wilson playing that defensive tackle spot.
Yeah, I don't think you need that.
I would either go Terrion Arnold or Talisi Fuaga.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my thought here. I'm going to skip on the corner, and I'm going to go with Talisi Fuaga. Really sew up the offensive line, and then I can worry about other spots down the line.
Indeed. I would have gone Terrion Arnold. Just throwing that out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand why you did that.
All right, number 14.
Now I'm the Saints.
Oh, the New Orleans Saints. They just got snaked.
We did. We got snaked, and I don't love that. So now I'm going to have to audible. I don't like having to audible on the fly. But, you might have done me the biggest favor ever.
Okay.
Because I'm going to take Byron Murphy, and I'll be just fine with that.
As you should be.
I mean, look, this is not a good team on the interior of the defensive line. You added Chase Young. Still got Cam Jordan. You give me a presence on the inside, and I feel like I can get home with 4. I think this defense can be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Receiver, I look over there and go, man, you have got a lot of dudes. New Orleans has a lot of dudes, and outside of Olave, I'm not sure how many of them are really, really good. I like Shaheed. There's not a receiver that I feel good enough about at 14 to bypass Byron Murphy.
Not a Brian Thomas.
No, I would need somebody that can play out of the slot, and there's just I can take care of that later. I can't take care of a Byron Murphy level prospect for the inside of my defensive line.
Agreed.
So you may have done me a favor. Now I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do at right tackle if Ryan Ramczyk can't play. But we'll let that be round 2's problem.
Absolutely. You get an opportunity to get Byron Murphy, you can just move on right down the line, and you didn't have to, rely on Troy Fautanu. Number 15.
And I even forgot about Brian Breeze. You had Byron Murphy to Brian Breeze with what they have on the outside. That defensive line is good.
Mm-hmm. Could absolutely be nasty. The 15th pick belongs to the Indianapolis Colts. And
don't get snake bit here.
Don't get snake bit?
Mm-hmm. Don't take the player that doesn't fit your scheme.
What, are you talking about Terrion Arnold?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that wasn't the one I was going to take, though. Terrion Arnold was not the one I was going to take, but I was going to take a corner.
Is his name Cooper?
His name is Cooper DeJean.
I think that's the ceiling on DeJean, and his floor is not far from it. I wish there was a way that I could bet Cooper DeJean will go between the 15th and the 20th pick, and I am so damn sure of that I would put $1,000 on it right now.
I was going to say, you're probably going to get not great odds on that either. Because Vegas will see that coming.
Yeah, Vegas will go, well, yeah.
Minus 900.
I don't think it'd be that high. Give you minus 500 in.
Yep.
I'll make $200 free dollars.
Yep. Cooper DeJean to the Indianapolis
He's a really
Colts.
good fit in Indy. I mean, that's the biggest drawback. I mean, they re-upped DeForest Buckner, which a lot of people didn't like, and I'm not sure I understand why. I mean, yeah, he got big-ish money, but it wasn't Aaron Donald big type money.
Right.
It locks him up for probably the rest of his legit career.
But is he not a defensive tackle that's worth that second-tier money?
I believe he is.
I do, too, and that's why I asked the question.
And right there, you take DeJean, you'll have him and Juju Brents on the outside, and then you've got Kenny Moore in the slot.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good
solid
young group of corners that can strike fear into the hearts of even C.J. Stroud.
Now, the question is, do you have a quarterback? And I still, a year later, do not know the answer to that.
We have a guy who plays quarterback, and he is the only solution we have at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we got a quarterback, I guess.
You do have a guy that can take snaps under center.
Well, damn sure wasn't going to take
if
one
he
in the
is
first
any
round.
good, I do not know.
And number 16, Seattle Seahawks.
This is the one that I hate Seattle.
Why?
Because I keep having to take the same guy, and I don't want to.
I just left you, Troy Fautanu.
That's who I'm going to have to take is Troy Fautanu. And I don't want to take Troy Fautanu. I just don't want the Jets to take him either. Please, for the love of God, don't do that to me. Don't make me cry in public.
Troy Fautanu, who is tackle guard.
He's a guard. He's a guard. He's a really mobile guard. He's a movable piece. He can play 4 positions. I will give you that. I am not as in love with him as everybody else is. I like Jackson Powers Johnson better. Mm-hmm. But every time I do mocks with Seattle, and it seems like everybody else does the same thing, I can't figure out how they take anybody else. I would love to trade down. Who's anybody trading up for? Who's sitting on the board right now that teams go, oh, yeah, we've got to do that immediately? I mean, Terry and Arnold?
Maybe.
You don't know that that's who Jacksonville's going to take. J.C. Latham? Anybody just chomping at the bit to get to him? I thought about taking him, by the way.
Did you?
I did. I think his best fit is at right tackle. And I think I'm okay there if I'm Seattle. I'll take Fautanu, who I think Fautanu can be a really good guard.
Mm-hmm.
I made fun of that, and now I can't see how it doesn't happen. Oh, by the way,
as
my
you said, it's
offensive
a
coordinator
movable piece.
was just with him at Washington.
Mm-hmm. I still wonder, why is that the common go-to is Fautanu rather than Barton or JPJ?
Familiarity. I've got your former offensive coordinator on my staff. Oh, by the way, you played 14 seconds from my stadium, so I probably had pretty good eyes.
I was just saying, I think I'd rather have, if I were Seattle, would I not rather have the interior piece, right? The center guard combo rather than the flexibility of the tackle guard.
I would think, but every time I take JPJ, I get yelled at by Seahawk fans, and frankly, I didn't want to do it.
Just tired of it. Just sick and tired of it.
I'm a fragile flower, and I will wilt if you yell at me too often.
Yes. All right, we will kick off the next hour with the second half of the head-to-head mock draft. Pick number 17, the Jacksonville Jaguars, on the clock after this here in the Sportsocracy.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pretty easy one as we roll into a Monday afternoon. I hope everybody gets a chance to get outside, enjoy the beautiful weather. I mean, I understand with the allergies and the pollen and all that, and hopefully we'll get something to clean us out here, but really don't see much rain in the forecast. Sunny today, 80. Tonight, 55. Some clouds around. Tuesday morning, there could be some fog, then partial sun in the afternoon, 80. Wednesday, maybe a shower, thunderstorm, high 75. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by UPM Raflatech.
Looking for a new career, great benefits, a safe work environment, and on-the-job training? Meet UPM Raflatech, a global manufacturer of label materials, now hiring in Mills River and Fletcher. Feel good about where you work. Learn more at rafjob.com. That's RAFJOB.com.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
But I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it, and at the same time I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Shinecup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
I'm Hannah Storm, and my new podcast, NBA DNA with Hannah Storm, digs deep into the history of professional basketball, alongside my own as one of sports television's first female broadcasters.
Now let's get you up to speed on what else happened around the NBA today.
I'll talk to the legends of the game
Dr. J.
and those behind the scenes with some fantastic stories both on and off the court. Listen to NBA DNA with Hannah Storm on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, GRAND. That's GRAND. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, and we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. It is a mock draft Monday. Jeremy and I going head-to-head. I've got the odd picks. He's got the even picks. And just going down the path of who's going to go in the 2024 NFL Draft if we were making the calls. Surprising picks if you're just joining us here in the 2 o'clock hour. Roma Dunze going number 8 to the Atlanta Falcons without a trade. That, to me, stuck out of, I haven't heard anybody make that connection between those two teams.
I just got the submission for the media draft contest. I've already penciled Roma Dunze into that spot. I'll tell you, that's how it's going to end.
Yep.
That has the, why did we not see that coming, written all over it.
We did have 4 quarterbacks taken in the top 7 of the draft. The Minnesota Vikings trading up with the New England Patriots at 3. So it went Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, 1, 2, 3, as we've all believed or been told to believe it's going to go since the beginning of the process. The Denver Broncos traded up to 7 with the Tennessee Titans to get J.J. McCarthy there. Number 10, Jeremy got his guy in Brock Bowers. The New England Patriots, who traded back to 11, I went Quinion Mitchell with them instead of going with a tackle, and that kind of threw everything into chaos. Everybody started chasing the next thing. Because Tennessee goes Olafashanu.
They're the happiest team in the draft. We got burned on Joe Alt, but we added a 2 and a 4 and traded down and got exactly who we were going to take at 7.
Yes, and then who was the Talisi Fawaga, then goes to the Las Vegas Raiders, which locks the New Orleans Saints out of a tackle. At number 14, they ended up going with Byron Murphy, Cooper DeJean to the Indianapolis Colts, Troy Fautano to the Seattle Seahawks at 16. And there's a corner who's fallen from where he's been projected to go all this time. Fallen quite a number of picks, according to some prognosticators. And I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will do that thing of, ooh, we're getting a deal. And they'll run to make the pick of Terrion Arnold.
Even with Tyson Campbell coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Even with, he added Ronald Darby. I don't know. I feel like you would have to take Brian Thomas there.
Ronald Darby is not a It's not a long-term solution.
It's not a long-term solution, no. It's not.
Do I have to have a wide receiver? Am I that receiver poor right now?
I mean, your three starters right now: Christian Kirk, who plays out of the slot, Gabe Davis, who plays one game a year, and Zay Jones, who see Gabe Davis. I don't know. I just look at this and go, I don't see how this is not a receiver.
Okay.
Brian Thomas is there. Hey, I feel like we had this guy like 3 years ago, and we let him leave, and we've never aptly replaced him. That's just me. It's not my pick.
All right. No, I'm sticking with it. Terry and Arnold, Jacksonville Jaguars at 17. And they will feel like they got the steal of the draft.
I mean, hey, it's old, his name just went out of my head. Trent Baalke. So you could be right. Do the thing that makes less sense. Probably what Trent Baalke will do. All right. I'm sitting here as Cincinnati, and this is not really gone my way. I mean, many of the things that I wanted to happen have not happened. I don't think there's a defensive tackle I can take here. Don't feel like I should take a corner here. Here's where my brain's at. I've taken J.C. Latham to Cincinnati about 863 times.
Mm-hmm.
He would come in and play guard to start because you got Trent Brown on the right side, Orlando Brown on the left. You're invested in the corners. Personally, I'd be a little agitated that Jacksonville took Terry and Arnold because that's where I would have gone had you not done it. I've got Miles Murphy waiting in the wings. I got to do it. It's J.C. Latham. I'll take him as the guard replacement to start, long-term right tackle. I know I've said they should be happy with that, but I'm not for whatever reason in this.
He doesn't like it once he actually had to pull the trigger on it.
No, and I've just done it so many times that now we get to this point, and I do this every year. It makes sense. It probably is how it ends up going. And then I get to this point and go, I'm so tired of seeing J.C. Latham next to Cincinnati. And I do something off the wall, like take Latu, which is not that off the wall. It just is when you factor in the Miles Murphy side of that.
Right.
This is why I feel like Cincinnati, if Brock Bowers gets by the Jets, they would start making the call.
All right, J.C. Latham at 18 to the Cincinnati Bengals.
And Evan Doyle, one of our resident Cincinnati fans, said, give me a Marius Mims. I'm telling you that the industry is not as high on him as the rest of us are. He's so raw. And you would have to place him at right tackle immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you do not want him trying to go across positions. He's so raw. Upside's higher, don't get me wrong. But Cincinnati's trying to win right now. J.C. Latham's a win now player.
Yep. All right, at number 19, who's this? The Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, take Michael Penix like everybody else seems to want to.
I'm not. I don't think they do that.
I will audibly, to where you can hear it, pee my pants laughing if that actually happens.
I just don't buy that they're using a draft pick on a quarterback. I have Matthew Stafford. I get that he's old. I get that he's on the last leg. Any moment he could get hurt. I guess if that's your concern.
I could see them using a draft pick. I can't see them using a first round.
No, the first rounder is out of no, we're not doing that.
I'm more curious as to where you go.
I got a feeling that you're not gonna like it, but I'm gonna give it a shot.
Assumption.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm going with Brian Thomas.
Nope, you're right. I'm not gonna like that.
Why not?
Hey, the only position on the field we're good at. Let's take another one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Here would be my question. Sir, Mr. Sneed, who, pray tell, is going to play defense for your franchise? Because you don't have nearly enough of those?
You don't have any defensive players?
I'd have to go defense.
Mm-hmm.
Latu was the one I thought you were going to take.
Yep.
Latu's who I would have taken, just to be clear.
Okay.
To me, he's the best player on the board. He can get after the quarterback. I think I'm getting a value there. Brian Thomas. I'm not sure I wouldn't have taken. I'm trying to.
Dave Thomas,
founder of Wendy's.
Just trying to think of any.
I would have taken Dave Matthews before I would have taken Brian Thomas. I feel like we're going to post this draft up. People are going to see Brian Thomas next to the Rams and go, who smoked enough crimes to go, let's take a receiver for the Rams?
Yep.
Old Peter Crumb Smoker over there. Okay.
Okay, who's the 3?
I don't
Who's
care.
their third receiver?
I don't care.
Well, that's kind of the point. Kind of my point.
Andreas Pinckney said, Tank, you're a good man, but thank God you're not an NFL GM. That would be one of those swerves that, all right, so here would be my argument to that.
Okay.
I like Brian Thomas. I do not think there is a huge difference between him and Keon Coleman, a slew of other receivers.
Okay.
And I look at that Rams roster and just go, good Lord, where does that fit in the range of, I mean, the 3 is DeMarcus Robinson, who they just paid, by the way. I forgot all about him.
Who they paid?
Yeah, they gave him a 2-year deal for actual legit big boy dollars.
No.
I mean, it wasn't like, I mean, they didn't give him $25 million for per year, but they gave him number 3 wide receiver money. So Brian Thomas is going to come in as your 4, and I'm not letting you unwind this now because I cannot wait to see some of the comments of this. What? You sure they could take a quarterback? They would have been less angry at a quarterback. Can you name the 2 starting corners for the Rams right now? Actually, the corners are not. Never mind. To take that back, I forgot they did sign Tre'Davious White.
Yeah.
Darius Williams and Tre'Davious White. Yeah, it was pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you
should have gone with the pass rusher.
That was the right call. There were a bunch of them too. Latu, Johnny Newton. I'd have been good with it. Frankly, I'd have been good with T'Vondre Sweat. By God, we're going to have a lot of receivers.
Damn right. I'm going to outscore everybody.
GG Gambling listed off all their weapons. I don't think he loved your selection there. All right, that puts me at 20 with Pittsburgh.
Who's this?
That was GG Gambling. He's a Rams fan.
Oh, yeah. Tutu Atwell. That's really going to stop me from taking a receiver.
And Notorious B.I.G. said, I know you don't want them to take a defensive tackle. It's not that I don't want them to take a defensive tackle. I don't want them to take a guy who you're going to put hey, you're the Aaron Donald replacement on. Because that would be Johnny Newton, and he is never going to live up to that standard. I get why you would do it. It's just not an apples-to-apples comparison. And I feel like I could wait on that because defensive tackle leans out.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I would take out of slot would be if I was looking for a true nose, and I would take T'Vondre Sweat. All right, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with Pittsburgh. I hate that they're sitting here at 20 without Cooper DeJean. Anybody want to make a trade for this pick? Anybody calling? Nobody? Okay, that's fine. All right, my thought process here is I do need another corner. As I got Dante Jackson, which doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. I think this is too high to take anybody that really fits the scheme. You took Brian Thomas, so that took that off the board.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this pick so much. I hate this pick. You know what? I'm taking Graham Barton. I don't know what position I'm going to play him at, and I'm not so sure that I care. I'll move Broderick Jones to the left side and play Graham Barton on the right, or I'll play him at guard. He's a very Pittsburgh Steeler-type player. And you left me with no other choice. I'm just looking at every player I have a first-round grade going, nope, can't do that. Don't need an edge rusher. Nope, it's not good.
Don't need any of that.
It's not good. By the way, am I the only one that realizes he passed on Dallas Turner?
Who?
You. With the Rams, you passed on Dallas Turner.
That's fine.
All right. I mean, I'm not going to let you go back and undo it.
I don't want to go back and undo it. This is called a mock draft. This is called Fantasy World. And you act like I should be upset.
No, I'm dumbfounded that you got to.
Wide receiver,
well,
yes.
I mean, somebody does that every single year. They make a pick, and I go, how in the hell did you get to that point? That would be the one in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But and this is actually a great example of what can happen when somebody goes out of line like that. Now Pittsburgh's just sitting there going, I have to reach. Nobody's making a deal here because they don't have to. Because I know exactly what Miami's getting ready to do, and I know exactly what Philadelphia's getting ready to do. So if I'm not looking for those two players, I can wait 2 picks, and Pittsburgh's just stuck. And I have to take a guy that probably belongs 8 picks later.
So Graham Barton is the selection for the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 20. You want to take a quick break here? When we come back, we will get to number 21, the Miami Dolphins, running to the podium.
Eat and Sleep said I panicked. If you could tell me who's going to trade for that pick, I'd kill to hear it. But I have 6 of the remaining teams, and every one of them went, I'm fine.
Well, that's what he's saying. My pick threw you off so much that you had to panic and to do something you didn't want to do.
Oh, I didn't want to do it. I just didn't have another choice.
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville on a mock draft Monday. I lost my train of thought there for a second. I'll try to gather it during the break.
The future of medicine is here at QC Kinetics. QC is the nation's leader in the most exciting revolution in pain management we've seen in decades, regenerative medicine. If you are tired of achy joints, if your joint pain is keeping you from doing what you love, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Surgery, steroids, drugs, these are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics using your body's own power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkupp. Dr. Scheinkupp is a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, and publishing. He wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. Call QC Kinetics now to learn more about some exciting options. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Phone 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you won't find PTSD by looking at a thermometer. Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a bandage. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
In this week's Marketers Report, Angela Zepeda, CMO Hyundai Motor America, talks about audio storytelling.
People scratch their heads and say, why would you put your brand on a channel that doesn't show the sheet metal? But for us, it's about storytelling. That's driving a lot of brand awareness, but we can also drive a lot of intent.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the influencers, audiences, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
At Ingalls, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Not only does it ensure that you get top-quality, fresh items for your family table, it's a way for us to support the amazing individuals who pour their heart and soul into delivering the very best they can do. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. The mock draft Monday. Head-to-head mock draft. Switching off picks here. I've got the odd picks. Jeremy's got the even picks. It's been thrown all into chaos here. The Miami Dolphins are up next at number 21. And I feel like they would run to the podium to take Jackson Powers Johnson.
I agree with you.
The center out of Oregon.
I agree with you.
Because I feel like he should be a guy that some teams at the end of the draft, namely mine, need to be trying to trade up for, which that was pointed out in the YouTube chat of you didn't have to take that pick at 20, Jeremy, with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well,
Somebody
I
could have
control
traded
Tampa
up.
Bay, and I'll go ahead and tell you there are 4 players I want on the board. I am not trading up to get Graham Barton. I wasn't trading up to get Jackson Powers Johnson either, to be really honest with you.
Okay.
I don't have to. If I've got 4 guys I like, why would I move up just to get one of the 4?
Mm-hmm.
And look, Tampa Bay's got like 6 needs. I'm not giving up a second-day pick to go up and get a center, even though it's a center I really like. I'll pass.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't offer with San Francisco.
No.
And I don't think San Francisco would offer it either.
No, I don't think so either.
That team is super expensive, and they need all the cheap young talent they can get.
Yes.
So that's the problem with being back here, is that you get teams in the top of the second round that they might look to trade up to get the 5th-year option, but then I'm taking back 2 second-round picks. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
The drop-off is – we're already at the drop-off. I took the best player left that still had a grade that made sense. I feel like you just did the same thing with Jackson Powers Johnson because I burned you with Graham Barton.
Yes.
Which is funny because you in turn burned the Philadelphia Eagles and took the center. So you can't leave the 2 guards in place.
Right.
But you did leave me a player that I am considering taking a player that's not a need. I'm not going to, but I've thought about it. Philadelphia, I'll go Nate Wiggins. Cornerback out of Clemson. That gives me 3 legit corners.
On a defense that didn't seem to have one last year.
And the front is legit. The way that Vic Fangio plays, I feel like Nate Wiggins is almost destined to end up in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
That just feels like a Vic Fangio pick to me. It's a guy that I know in my scheme he will be just fine because I can protect some of the issues that he could have. And now I can just line up and play man on you constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to deal with my tremendous front.
All right, the New England Patriots have the 23rd pick.
If you don't do it, you're out of your mind.
It's Dallas Turner.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was about to say, if you don't take Dallas Turner right here, I am going to I don't see a path that he falls this far, but I think either. 8's too high.
I don't either, but and that's the problem. You get past that point, who's jumping out to take it?
You get past the Falcons and the Bears, I don't see a landing spot.
I mean,
really
maybe
don't.
the Rams could have, but
correct.
But Dallas Turner to New England at 23, steal.
I don't know that it's a steal. It's a very good, solid value pick. Dallas Turner is one of those guys that the projection on him drives me crazy because I feel like he ran really fast at the combine, and that made everybody forget all of the warts with him. This is a situational pass rusher. Now, you put him on the opposite side of Matthew Judon, okay. And in this scenario, you have Quinyon Mitchell and Christian Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay, you may not be able to score points, but you're going to lose 4-0.
Well, that's what Gerard's going to do, right? Gerard will build up his defense. They never had great offense. I mean, right, offensive weapons. They had the great quarterback. They had Tom Brady who could make things happen.
I think you have to get out of this is going to be the same type of build from New England.
I think it'll
There's
be similar.
nobody left here that is beholden to Bill Belichick.
No.
Elliott Wolf has nothing for Bill, and that's the one that's pulling the strings here. Now, what you did, I think, is take the 2 best players on the board when you came up, which is exactly what they could do if they moved down. If they decide they're not in love with one of these quarterbacks or they like the idea of 2 first-rounders this year and an extra one next year, I get it. I get falling in love with two quarterbacks and having access to neither one of them. Then there's a big drop-off in grade, and you just go, I'm not tying my career to a guy I don't believe in. Yeah, I need a quarterback. Doesn't mean I need that one. Then you drop back and you just play really good defense.
All right, let's go number 24, Dallas Cowboys.
I would have taken Jackson Powers Johnson if he was here.
Mm-hmm.
He is not. I am looking at Amarius Mims, but I feel like it's too early on him.
Okay.
He's so raw. I saw the look you just made.
Yeah, it doesn't feel early.
He's so raw. And you know how many snaps did he play at Georgia?
Oh, I
can
know.
tell you because I have his draft profile pulled up on my computer.
I don't know, 400 and something.
It's not that few, but it's not many more than that.
I mean, he only played
706.
He only played every down for the last 2 years.
He didn't play every down for the last 2 years. He's been hurt for 2 years. He's played 706 snaps. That's, if you play that out, that's 10 full games.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take that this high because all right, think about it if I'm Dallas, and that's the team that's on the clock, so I will use them for the analogy here. If I take Amarius Mims, where's he going to play? Is he going to play on the left side?
Right side.
So you got Tyler Smith on the left. So you're going to have, that would push Terrence Steele out, or I'm going to put Mims in his spot. And now I got Mims with Zach Martin on the right side. I mean, I like having Zach Martin there. But you're telling me you don't think teams would just funnel blitzes at him? Because I think they would. I don't think he's a ready-made starter. If I'm taking a guy here, it has to be a guy that I can plug and play at right tackle right now, and I don't think he can. Broderick, all right, and just, this is not the perfect way to explain this, but it's the best one I got. Last year, whose line is in better shape? Dallas right now or what Pittsburgh was a year ago?
Oh.
I would say Dallas right now. It's not all that close.
Dallas, yeah.
I mean, I got 3 spots that are pretty locked in on this line.
Mm-hmm.
Broderick Jones didn't see the field for the first half of the year because he wasn't ready, and he was light years ahead of Amarius Mims. I just can't go there. I'm looking at the defense going, you know what? I'm getting ready to have to make a very large financial inlay to Micah Parsons. I'm getting ready to have to do the same thing with CeeDee Lamb. And there's a guy that's sitting on the board that shouldn't be here. And a year from now, it's going to save me the money on DeMarcus Lawrence. I'm going to take Leatu Latu.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
That gives me 2 really good edge rushers for a long, long time. I got Trayvon Diggs coming back this year with Deron Bland. I feel like I'm pretty good in that back half.
Mm-hmm.
It's too early for a linebacker. I don't think any of the fits on the line fit perfectly right here. I'll just take the best player on the board. I don't want to reach for a guy that I don't believe in right here just because I need one.
Well, Leatu Latu would definitely expected to be a productive piece with all that he has around him. The question is, can he be? Or is this just another home run swing by the Packers? Or not the Packers, by the Cowboys to try to get that edge rusher? Or is this going to be another in the line?
There's not a lot. The only miss on Latu
chances.
really is the medical. I mean, he's been the best pass rusher in college football for 2 years. So, I mean, Will Anderson was better than him for a year, but it was closer than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was just leaps and bounds better than anybody else this year. But that medical is terrifying.
Okay.
But I can bring him along slow. I can make sure everything's right. Plays behind DeMarcus Lawrence for a year. I can rotate them in and out. And the more I talk myself into this, the more that is a very Dallas Cowboy thing to do.
The more you're falling in
Is
love
just
with it.
sit back and wait to see who falls in your lap, and when it's Latu, okay, we'll take him. It's not our biggest need, but he's the best player, and it's not all that close at this point.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the head-to-head mock draft here on a Mock Draft Monday, number 25 pick coming up next with the Green Bay Packers.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pretty easy one as we roll into a Monday afternoon. I hope everybody gets a chance to get outside and enjoy the beautiful weather. I mean, I understand with the allergies and the pollen and all that, and hopefully we'll get something to clean us out here, but really don't see much rain in the forecast. Sunny today, 80. Tonight, 55. Some clouds around. Tuesday morning, there could be some fog, then partial sun in the afternoon, 80. Wednesday, maybe a shower, thunderstorm, high 75. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by Apple Tree Superstore.
Go check out the all-new Apple Tree Advantage at the Apple Tree Automotive Superstore. It's your home for brand new Hondas, brand new Acuras, and a wide selection of local trade-ins. It's the all-new Apple Tree Advantage at the Apple Tree Automotive Superstore. Online at appletreesuperstore.com and located I-26 at Airport Road, Asheville.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults. Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hey everyone, Black Maternal Health Week is almost here. Join the Black Mamas Matter Alliance on April 11th to the 17th to engage in events, conversations, and activism for Black maternal health. Visit blackmamasmatter.org/BMHW for details and follow #BMHW24 for real-time updates. Together, let's build a healthier future for all Black mamas. Brought to you by Black Mamas Matter Alliance and Black Maternal Health Week. Our bodies still belong to us. Reproductive justice now.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
We are back at the Sportsocracy inside the Ingalls studio. It is ESPN Asheville. Heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. You take us with you everywhere you go. It is a mock draft Monday. We are trading off picks here. I've got the odd picks. Jeremy's got the even picks. He just went Leatu Latu, falling down to number 24 to the Dallas Cowboys. Number 25, the Green Bay Packers have a selection to make here.
DNA Tooth Podcast, who is a Packers fan, just commented, and I agree with him, that there are 2 names that you could say here that would make sense.
2 names that would make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Green Bay has one huge need. The problem is you're going to have to see guys a specific way to fill it. They need a guard real bad.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a guy that some teams view that way. I don't think that's where he ends up playing, but it could be where he starts.
Yeah. And I guess that's where I'll have to go. It's Jordan Morgan, who is a guard. He's a guard. Is that what you're saying?
He was a tackle at Arizona, but there are people that think he is not fleet of foot enough to play consistent tackle in the NFL. I am not one of those, but I do think you could bring him in. He's an experienced guy. I'm not. He's the exact opposite of Amarius Mims. I'm not worried about him in the least. I'll find a spot. I'll find a spot, and if that's at guard to start with, that's fine. I also think he can play tackle in this league. So that's who I would have taken as well. I think he is a first-rounder. I've thought that the whole time. I am super high on Jordan Morgan.
Yep.
And I feel like he gets lost. He kind of gets lost in the shuffle because Tyler Guyton is flashier and Amarius Mims has a higher upside. They also have terrifying floors. They could come into this league and absolutely not be able to play dead to Western. Jordan Morgan, I'm not worried about that.
The only other one I considered there was Amarius Mims. I don't know what the configuration is going to look like if I draft him. Is he going to be on the left side, and then we got Tom on the right side, and then we do whatever in the middle, or are we moving him in? He's just another piece to have.
Amarius Mims, to me, is a guy that you have to slot him wherever he's going to go. He reminds me, and this is not an apples-to-apples comparison, he reminds me of Mekhi Becton a lot. The raw physical is intoxicating. If you're not careful, you will break him. These guys are not supposed to be that big and that fast. You got to remember, the knee on Amarius Mims and the knee on Xavier Worthy, it's the same knee.
Yep.
One of them has a lot more strain on it than the other one does.
Yes. All right, so the Packers with Jordan Morgan out of Arizona at number 25. That brings up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 26.
I was looking at who you've had in on top 30 visits, and I feel like this is either a corner or an edge rusher. The one corner left that you've had in on a top 30 visit was Kool-Aid McKinstry, and I don't have him this high. So I'm going to take a player that I know I can use right away. He might be situational to start. Chop Robinson, edge rusher out of Penn State.
Yep.
I always laugh at players like this because their trip around the draft sun always lands them where they should have landed to begin with. Because if you remember, we had Chop Robinson in the top 15 during the season.
Yes.
Then you really start digging into the tape and you realize, okay, this is not a top 15 player. But then people go too far, and he winds up in the back of the second round. Then he goes to the combine. Goes to the combine, blows it out. Then you watch the tape again and go, am I really taking some of these guys ahead of him? Because that doesn't make a tremendous amount of sense. And then he lands about where he should be. He should have been in the 20 to 30 range. And he drops right there at 26, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
There you go.
That's a pick I feel really good about, by the way.
Yes.
I think you might be his ceiling and his floor.
I don't know about ceiling, but
I don't see a team
floor,
that can take him ahead
that's
of you.
possible.
All right, do you have a team that you honestly think, especially if it goes this way and the edge rushers start to fall?
Yeah, no, if the edge rushers fall, absolutely he would be there. I don't know if
the only way
Dallas Turner and Jared Verse both go in the top 10 like I have opined before, and I don't know, Latu comes off in the 15-16 range, and then Dallas has to panic and they go with Chop Robinson or something. I could see that happening.
I don't see a path that I do not see a path that Verse and Dallas Turner go in the top 10. I can't make that work. Because that would mean Roma Dunze and Brock Bowers are sitting there at 10, and I can't believe that's how this is going to go. Because I don't really see a path that 4 quarterbacks don't go in the top 8. I don't know that they go in the top 4. I think that's a little bit of kooky Madookie talk. But, I mean, you just do the math. You got 4 quarterbacks, you got 2 receivers, and you got an offensive tackle that I know definitively are going to go in the top 9. Well, then you only have 2 spots left for Odunze, Verse, Turner, and Brock Bowers.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think one of them is going to fall into the teens, and I think another one's going to fall into the 20s. And that allows Tampa Bay to just sit there and scoop up Chop Robinson.
No. The Arizona Cardinals have the number 27 pick. They got Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4 at the beginning of the draft, so filling a big need there. All right, so I'm battling between corners.
Sound it out. You can phone a friend here.
Yeah. I'm battling between corners, Kool-Aid and Rakestraw. Mr. Scheme Guy can tell me maybe which one fits in better in with Arizona.
If anybody can get it out of Kool-Aid, it's Jonathan Gannon.
Okay.
My problem with Rakestraw in that scheme would be you're going to get put in situations where you're one-on-one because I'm investing a first-round pick in you, so I expect you to have the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get super handsy, and we will be the most flagged team in the NFL.
The only other option is Jerzon Newton.
That's where I would be going.
And that's the way I'll go.
That's where
Johnny Newton, because you need defensive pieces. And we've seen how good Jonathan Gannon can be when he has that big dude in the middle or multiple big dudes in the middle.
Well, you also have to remember the backboard that you have. All right, so you're picking at 27 right here. You also have 35.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember that pick because you've got Buffalo, Detroit, Baltimore, San Francisco, Kansas City, Carolina, and New England between you. There are at least 3 receivers going there. So if you already got Marvin Harrison Jr., so you're not really in the battle for a receiver.
Right.
And you got to look at what's if one team takes Johnny Newton, we're in trouble at defensive tackle.
Right, you're screwed.
Because there's not another one that belongs at 35.
No, Braden Fiskey is the next.
And that's
next
not
one on the
a
list,
great
maybe.
scheme fit to me. So you take Johnny Newton and just go, hey, you know what? When I come up at 35, I'll bet you one of those corners is there.
Yep.
I'm not sure both of them aren't there.
Maybe.
And so that plays into the tiebreaker for me.
All right, so Johnny Newton to the Arizona Cardinals at 27. Number 28, the Buffalo Bills.
If I'm Buffalo, I swear to you, I'd be calling every team in the NFL to see if I could get down.
Yep.
Carolina, you have any interest in getting up here? They wouldn't. The Giants. I feel like Buffalo is the pick where you're going to see somebody move on a quarterback.
Okay, so this is the Michael Penix move.
I think so. I think so. The question is who that team would be. The Giants have 47, but they gave up that the other second-round pick to get up or to get Brian Burns.
Mm-hmm.
Would 70 and 47 be enough to get you to 28? And I would say no.
I don't think so.
I think you're going to have to give up another day 2 pick next year to get up there.
I want a 3 next year.
I would say a 2. You're giving me you're giving me an early 3rd round pick, but I've got to wait on the payoff. And now here would be my question. If you're the Giants, would that be palatable to you? Because if I'm Buffalo, I'm looking at, I got a lot of needs. A lot of needs. And do I see a huge difference between Xavier Worthy and A.D. Mitchell and Keon Coleman? Because I don't, personally. So I can drop back, take whatever's receivers left, because I'm looking at Ladd McConkey and the 2 I just said, Troy Franklin, just others that could go in this range. Keon Coleman, like I said, Roman Wilson, Ricky Pearsall, and there's a lot of receivers left. So I'm going to leave it up to you. Do you think the Giants would make that move with 3 day 2 picks to get up to 28 to get Michael Penix?
Yes, I do.
That's what I'm doing then.
Okay.
I'm going to bail out. I'm going to trade to the New York Giants. And with the 28th pick, they're going to take Michael Penix Jr.
You have to do something. And this is not just a blind, we have to do something. You're getting a guy who I think he's got a much higher ceiling, obviously, than Daniel Jones because we know where that's going. Nowhere fast. You made the horrible mistake of giving him $40 million a year, and now he is the poster child for we're not doing this anymore.
Oh, by the way, I have to touch on this because it was said in the YouTube chat. Bill Buttigieg said the Patriots would trade up for Michael Penix. That's why I think Buffalo would be so dogmatic about doing this. I'll burn you out of a quarterback.
Yes.
Because Detroit, they'll move down in a heartbeat. They have made that the worst kept secret on the planet. They will move back if somebody offers it. And I think New England could get up there with Detroit.
Yep.
That's why the Giants would be willing to come off that extra second-round pick is to burn out New England.
Yes.
That was I didn't say that, and I should have. That's why Buffalo would be, they're looking to trade back anyway. And if I'm the Giants, I know this is probably my drop dead spot because New England has things that are way more attractive than I do.
And what better thing to do than to be able to burn your hated rival in the New England Patriots.
And I feel like that means Bo Nix would be destined for New England at 34.
I do feel like the Giants need to make a move on a quarterback pretty high in this draft. It's just not at 6.
I agree.
I've seen mock drafts. Hell, Tankathon's mock draft has J.J. McCarthy going to them at 6. No. You took Daniel Jones. What pick was that?
6.
It was 6. Right. I'm not doing the same damn mistake over again. Just taking, I'll take something. Not doing it if I'm the New York Giants. But in this case, I don't feel like I'm losing too much, and I get a high-end or a high-ceiling quarterback in Michael Penix Jr.
Before we take the last break of the day, I also have to say this. Burnside Golf Course, or GC, I'm assuming that's – I've always assumed that was golf course. I have no idea if that's what that actually stands for. He absolutely loves Xavier Leggett. I put in a request with his representation to stop by for an interview with us at the draft, specifically for you. I swear to you I did. I went through the list of all the agents' numbers I have, and I saw Xavier Leggett, and I went, I got to do that one. I got to do that one for my guy Burnside. He loves Xavier Leggett. I get it. We all fall in love with players. It's the beauty of the draft.
And if you fall in love with a player, you're dead sold that he's going to end up with a certain team or maybe going to a certain spot in the draft or whatever, you could put a wager on that, right? DraftKings Sportsbook. It is live here in North Carolina. And, of course, college basketball season's over. But the preseason of the NBA, it's also in the books. Yeah, that 82-game crap that we do every year. Yeah, preseason. Now the real season begins with NBA playoff action. Tomorrow night is the start of the play-in games. So you want to get your wagers in now. From the play-in tournament through the finals, from every opening tip to every buzzer beater, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. And you can get in on the action with DraftKings, and they're sweetening the pot. Because you get in now, you're a new customer, you bet $5, they give you $200 in bonus bets instantly. My wife just did this. I had her create her account for the big UFC fight this weekend. We made her picks, used her bonus bets, instantaneous, right there in your inbox. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code WPEK. The code WPEK will get you $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.
The good folks at Wendy's have a revolutionary new product for you. Introducing the new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. It's like a time machine that takes you all the way back to now, the year 2024. It's the classic creamy, orangey flavor you remember. Dare I say, it's new-timey. It's the flavor you grew up with, just all grown up. Head over to your local Wendy's establishment and get yours while supplies last. The new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. Here for the now, for now.
Limited time only at participating Wendy's.
What are you doing?
I'm training for the new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs. I could get a chance to dash through a warehouse full of prizes.
That explains the shopping cart.
Plus, I could win up to $2 million. in cash.
And that explains the tuxedo.
I'm chafing.
Feel the rush with new Ultimate Dash scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.78. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The key to any successful business is maximizing your reach. That's where the power of radio can help you get more customers in your doors and telling all of their friends about our friends. Hello, friends. Get your message to the masses through ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, and iHeartMedia Asheville. Learn how all of our great partners like Ingles Markets, DraftKings Sportsbook, and Monster Brewing, to name a few, use us to continue to build their businesses. Just email me, Tank Spencer, at iHeartMedia.com.
They're modern-day con artists, and they're the focus of Creating a Con, a true crime anthology podcast. Season 1 spotlights Ray Trapani and his tech startup scam, endorsed by DJ Khaled and Floyd Mayweather, and built on empty promises and millions from bilked investors.
If someone's like, oh, what's your best way of making money? I don't think start a business. I'm like, oh, we should start some sort of scheme, and I can't help it.
Listen to Creating a Con on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Creating a Con.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
We are back at the Sportsocracy on a mock draft Monday, the head-to-head mock draft, trading off picks. I started out the draft with the odds. Jeremy taking the even picks. We've worked our way down to the last four. Number 29, that selection belongs to the Detroit Lions, as we talked before the break. That they could be a trade-down candidate, so which made the move with the New York Giants, moving up with Buffalo to get Michael Penix in the fifth year on that deal.
I think that'll take Michael Penix until his age 40 season.
Probably.
It actually will take him until he's 30.
The corners, a couple of the corners have fallen here down to this spot where the Detroit Lions are picking, and the Detroit Lions have been hot on cornerback prospects in the process.
6 of the 12 top 30 visits that have leaked are corners.
Yes. They have met with both Kool-Aid McKinstry and with Anish Rakestraw. I think in this scenario, though, Kool-Aid McKinstry will be the pick.
He's a better scheme fit. Rakestraw, I'm just telling you, you put him on that side and you wish him the best of luck, he's going to lead the league in PI calls.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yep.
And I agree with you. I don't love Kool-Aid, but if there was the two teams that I like the fit with him are right here back to back. It's the Lions and the Ravens.
Well, funny you mentioned the Ravens because Stephen Tao's not going to be too happy about that. He's been hot all over the Kool-Aid McKinstry train since the beginning, and his Ravens are up next.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy.
Didn't
even think about it. Hey, I have a quarterback that's a really good runner with a cannon. Hey, if I have a guy that just kills people deep, That's going to take the top off the defense and makes everything work better. Okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. Kind of like I did with Hollywood Brown. It was the same receiver.
Mm-hmm. I hadn't thought about it that way.
I do not like him with hardly anybody else. But you tell me I have Zay Flowers on one side, I have Xavier Worthy on the other. Have fun trying to figure out where to put that safety. I mean, I'll throw 3 fingers up, give you a whistle, and wish you the best of luck. May the odds forever be in your favor.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, I have a tight end that can absolutely drill you across the middle. Yeah, I'm good. Oh, but you only have 3 targets. That's fine. I also have Derrick Henry.
Number 31, the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, everybody wants to put a guard with them, but there's not really a guard here left. We've already run through them all. And so much so that we've already taken Jordan Morgan trying to turn him into a guard.
It's not a great guard class.
No. Interior offensive lineman seems to be the favorite pick for them, but I just don't see it.
I feel like I've been swaying you, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut here. Unless you decide you want to phone a friend, because for me, this would be how quickly I just said Xavier Worthy. That's how quickly I would
you've got one? Else. Well, if you've got one, give it to me.
I'll give you a hint.
There's a no-brainer?
It rhymes with Pyler Python.
Tyler Guyton?
100%. I'd do it in 5 seconds.
Okay, why?
In that moving scheme, yeah. I got Trent Williams that's 437 years old. That's not an immediate help. He would basically be their swing tackle to start. It won't take long. Them and Miami are the 2 teams that I look at with Tyler Guyton and go, I don't know how you're not going to do it. I really don't.
Okay. I like that because I was going to go with Amarius Mims.
Yeah, I don't trust that one as much. You're asking a real big dude to move a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's why I didn't say it right off the rip, because I really couldn't make it make sense in my own head.
I'm not sure that they wouldn't start Tyler Guyton on the right side and move McKivitz inside. Because there's not a guard that makes sense, but Guyton makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Tyler Guyton to the San Francisco 49ers at 31. Final pick of the first round belongs to the champion, the Kansas City Chiefs.
I feel like this needs to be a receiver, especially with all of the uncertainty around Rashee Rice. And this guy needs to go in the first round. A.D. Mitchell. I feel like Kansas City would lose their minds if he was still on the board. You mean we don't have to go Ladd McConkey? Let's go. Let's do that.
Your derision of Ladd McConkey. Just why?
Look at Ladd McConkey and tell me the first-round receiver that he reminds you of. I'm not saying the kid's not a good player.
Steve Largent. I don't know.
That was lofty praise. And, by the way, you're smoking crime. I struggle to look at a guy like Ladd McConkey, and there have been a ton of them over the years. I struggle to see how that guy goes in the first round. A.D. Mitchell, immediately on the outside. If Rashee Rice doesn't end up getting suspended or anything like that, even if he does, I don't think it's going to last that long. That gives me 2 legit weapons with Travis Kelce. I'm just adding to Pat Mahomes, because that's what I do.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Back with you tomorrow right here on 92.9 at noon.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pretty easy one as we roll into a Monday afternoon. I hope everybody gets a chance to get outside and enjoy the beautiful weather. I mean, I understand with the allergies and the pollen and all that, and hopefully we'll get something to clean us out here, but really don't see much rain in the forecast. Sunny today, 80. Tonight, 55. Some clouds around. Tuesday morning, there could be some fog, then partial sun in the afternoon, 80. Wednesday, maybe a shower, thunderstorm, high 75. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services.
Disasters at home from floods, fires, or storm is a homeowner's worst nightmare. It pays to have a professional on your side, and that's exactly what you get with First Restoration Services. They've built their business off trust, integrity, speed, and quality. Learn more online at FRS247.com.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.